It's time to wake up, Woodward. The most listened to Detroit sports morning show is about to start. Start your day with a warm cup of Flannel Sam. Or how about a full cup of Detroit Kool-Aid?
Oh, yeah.
Mix in a little JB, and you got yourself the breakfast of champions. Live guests, fan reactions, and updates for your favorite teams. Wake Up Woodward is live now on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Hey, what up, though, people? It's Wake Up Woodward, and you know what? All we do around here is just handle our business, Flannel Sam. It's your boy, Brandon Dan, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credentialed Pistons reporter and writer for the network. And you know what? Not just another dub. That's another series win, man, for those Detroit Tigers. Smackdown, dog. Like, I love what this squad is doing in the chat family. If you do, go ahead and smash that like button. Let's run it up today. How are you feeling this morning, Mr. Riley Green jersey wearer?
You know, I'm feeling good, even though you might ask why sunglasses today, why not any other day? Today I'm feeling kind of shy. I don't want y'all to see my eyes for a little while. Rod Beard can see them.
Who knocked you out?
Nobody
being
knocked me out.
abused at home.
Hey, we will see. We will see. Damn.
He a DV victim.
Shout out, wifey. Those are unsubstantiated allegations. But no. I don't even know what to say to that. It just makes sense that Tigers victory show might as well put the sunglasses on again. Like I said, I'm a very shy, introverted person at heart, and I kind of just want to hide sometimes. But it's all good.
I feel you.
Shout out to those Tigers, though. We talk about it. 60 wins at All-Star break, man. They're definitely going to get there. And hopefully they do that by sweeping the Tampa Bay Rays out of here, man. And it's awesome to see what they're doing because you're getting contributions not just from your stars, but I know a name that you heard KG mention yesterday, Colt Keith. You mentioned his name a couple times. You ain't even been back that long, bro. And I've heard his name a lot from KG.
KG Diamonds, bro. But yeah, he is on a miniature heater right now, bro. He is playing some of the best ball of the season, for sure.
Definitely, man. Definitely. And as I'm looking forward, I'm telling you guys, absolute sweep. But Flannel Sam,
yes.
Would you like to tell the people what else is on the menu?
Absolutely. It's another Tiger game we have to break down where we talk about both the pitching and hitting. There's a lot to, I think, be excited about when it comes to this team's prospects for the rest of the regular season. When it comes to the playoffs, I think more and more people are continuing to show out and step up. Colt Keith being at the forefront of that. We will talk about that a little bit later. But also, we've got the legend Rod Beard on. And I'll tell you what, I mentioned this to him before the show. He's going to be excited to have KG back.
I can't wait to see him, man.
It's going to be a nice little reunion between you two, and I'm looking forward to, even if I'm just sitting back and watching it, I'm excited. But yeah, Rod Beard, Tigers, and we got what's trending to end the show. JB is back.
Hey,
JB,
full house. What? It's a family affair today, man, and I can't wait. But you know what? Something that used to really make me a little bit nervous this season is one Mr. Jack Flaherty. But you look at this game, and what we want to see from him is a consistency and only giving up 2 runs, 6 1/3 innings pitched. That's a good start towards restoring some of that confidence. But I think more people are going to feel a lot more at ease when we see Jack Flaherty doing this a whole lot more consistently. But what a heck of a start.
Yeah, Jack Flaherty, he was good Jack. He wasn't necessarily dominant, but he pitched more than well enough for the Tigers to get a victory. And I think, and I'm going to stay consistent on this, as of right now, and this is subject to change if Jack Flaherty ends the season on a torrid pace. If Jack Flaherty is the number 4 starter going into the playoffs, I think that is the perfect spot for him. I think I'm extremely comfortable with that. I actually think if he's the 4th starter and Kiter Montero is the 5th, that you probably don't even start but for more than one game. I think you've got obviously the top end with Skubal, but as good of starting pitching depth as previous World Series champions, if not better. I gave you the myriad of garbage that pitched in the playoffs the last few years for the World Series winning teams, and not necessarily garbage pitchers. Like, for example, Max Scherzer had a bad playoff run in 2023, Jack Flaherty last year, and Justin Verlander in a 2022. But my point is that I love to see what I've seen from Jack Flaherty, but it's not just Jack Flaherty. every single one of your starters has given you a great outing in the last 5 games. It all started with Reese Olson on Friday. And I'm not saying Reese Olson was great or anything, but he was very, very good for his first start off the IL. Then you had Casey Mize the next day, Tarek Skubal the next day, Kiter Montero the next day, and then Jack Flaherty last night. This pitching staff is on a heater. Did you know that the Tigers have only allowed 6 runs total in the last 5 games? That's domination. I'll mention the bullpen a little bit more in a couple of minutes, but love to see great starting pitching, basically one turn through the entire rotation en route to a now 5-game winning streak.
Yeah, and you know what, you talk about it because we have all of our concerns, but I'm starting to wonder how you want Jack Flaherty to be consistent, but this Tigers team just continues to find ways to get it done. And last night, he gives up 7 hits, but gets to 8 Ks. I'm glad to see that he still has his stuff working, still is able to locate. I don't think that the Tampa Bay Rays, that their lineup is necessarily one that's just Swiss cheese to mull through.
No.
But for a guy like Jack Flaherty, I thought that this was encouraging. Now for the bullpen, especially when you have the bullpen that you do, this is where, yeah, it definitely becomes a first world problem if you have Jack Flaherty. If you're like, oh man, Jack, you got to be our 4th starter, especially when pairing him with this type of a bullpen, and you see how lights out this can be. I keep looking for what are the weaknesses with this Tigers team, and realistically, it's just stay healthy. Just stay healthy. A.J. Hinch seems to have all of the answers dialed up for the Detroit Tigers no matter what's happened this year. Even a little bit of injury issues.
Oh, yeah,
and
sure.
to see the way that there are no favorites. We have our favorites. And I feel like if this is previous regimes, there may be some players who like cemented like statues at certain positions, especially with the lore that they have amongst the fans. But this is a situation where it's legitimately the best players playing the game, and where they've needed people to step up, those guys have even gone the extra mile too, which is just incredible. I don't know what many more superlatives you can really attach to this Detroit Tigers team, and that's what makes me, even before the All-Star break, before the trade deadline, I'm just sitting here now looking at my clock, man. Like, when does the playoffs start?
Yeah.
I'm ready, because you're right. When you're talking about the starting lineup, going out there and being able to say each one of the starters have had a good outing in their last 5. And you could probably go back and expand that and say, yo, a lot of these starters just have good starts every night. That to me it's a testament to just how elite this Tigers team actually is.
Yes, and speaking of teams that the Tigers are probably going to see in the playoffs, Dante151 with a $9.99 super chat.
Shout out.
I can read this even though I'm a little blind right now. Can we all agree that baseball is a weird sport? Because how the hell did the Tigers sweep those bum Guardians, and yet the Astros are about to get swept as well by the Guardians? What? Baseball is a weird sport. It's
sport.
random. That's why you have to judge things on large sample sizes. Because, yeah, the Guardians, their offense looked like it was just basically, and it still is over the totality of the season, Jose Ramirez, Steven Kwan, and nothing. But against Houston, they've woken up, and they're about to take a series from Houston. And this is one of those few times where I'm actually happy that the Guardians are winning, because it widens the gap for the Tigers to get the number 1 seed. The only thing that I wouldn't like is if those bastard Guardians find their way into the wild card. That would be like them, though,
Get
right?
them out of
Get them
the
out.
playoffs. Get them out. Shout out to our old sponsor, Guardian Alarm. Like, literally, Cleveland Guardians. Stay out, man. I don't need them anywhere near this dream season for the Detroit Tigers. We already going to have to deal with the Houston Astros. Listen, do I respect the Yankees? No.
Well, they're not even ahead of the division.
Not at all.
Honestly, the team that the Tigers should probably worry about more now is the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
The Yankees might not even make the playoffs. The Blue Jays are on a
That's a
10-game
fact.
winning streak, and they're now ahead in that division.
Yeah, and that's where you look at this team, and I don't want any bad mojo. Guardians, get them all the way out of here. But this is where you contrast this thing with the Tigers. Have they had speed bumps? Yes. But when you look at how many series they've won this year versus how many they've lost, you look at how many games they've gone in, how many different series they've gone up against teams that have winning records, and then all of a sudden they start to send their records closer to 500 than not. There was a series, I forget who it was earlier in the year that we were playing. It might have been the Brewers or so, or it might have been someone else. And we were like, yo, this team has a decent record, but by the time they're out of here, they're going to be under 500. And that would have meant that the Tigers had the sweep. And I remember we came here for the victory show. You like, Kool-Aid?
Oh, I forgot.
They're under.
It wasn't the Brewers. I don't remember who
forget
it was,
but
I remember that show.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just to contrast is, yes, we've seen a couple stinkers here and there. But when you look at what's bolstered the Detroit Tigers above some of these other teams in the AL, it's because they're a consistent team. They'll have a loss here or there. And when they drop a series, it's to the point where and I even think people out there in national media are surprised. Like, whoa, wait. The Tigers lost? They're just going out there, and I don't even understand the recipe anymore, but it's absolute BTA. When you – and I do wonder, when you know as a series, as a team, that you have to literally face Skubal and Mize in a series, I wonder what that does to the confidence of these other teams. You got to prepare for these guys. And not that a baseball player is going to come in and say, oh, man, we lost. But you know that you're in for a battle when you have to face off with these two players. And then you got to face off against this elite bullpen, as you continue to highlight all season. We thought they'd be a strength. But who knew that they would be able to, unlike last season, where when certain of the bullpen arms got either injured or went into their slumps, we saw the performance of the bullpen overall dip. We saw the performance of the team overall dip, whereas this year, we haven't seen that. We talk about how much they've been able to overcome if a bat hasn't been there or not, or if they're still waiting for guys to get back like Meadows and such. But when you look at this bullpen, they've just been able to continue to churn out and be a very, very strong point for the Tigers team.
No, I want to be fair, because obviously some guys in the bullpen have struggled. Not all, but some.
Individually, but the overall performance has continued to stay. Whereas last year, when that bullpen struggled, that's where we saw the team start to crater, approaching that trade deadline.
No, but we're looking at a potential, and this is another thing that we've seen in the last 5 games. Tyler Holton looks to be back.
Yes.
I am not going to declare that he's 100% back yet, but in these last 5 games, 4 2/3, 0 earned runs. Tommy Kahnle, we know what he's done. 2 1/3, no earned runs. These are in the last 5 games. Will Vest, 3 1/3, no earned runs. Both Tommy Kahnle and Will Vest have taken turns getting saves for this team. Those guys, I think I'm confident enough saying that Tyler Holton is, I don't know if he's back, but I love how he's trending. I'm still confident in him. I'm confident in Kahnle. I'm confident in Vest. If you want the Tigers bullpen to be, as formidable as it can be,
yeah,
you also have to look at, though, a couple of guys like Brant Herter, Brennan Hanafy, Chase Lee. They've all stepped up during this 5-game stretch. They've all given you. I'll just give you the numbers. Herter, an inning, no earned runs. Hanafy, an inning, no earned runs. Chase Lee, an inning and 2/3, no earned runs. I'd like to see Herter and Hanafy get back to what they were last season, or at least a close facsimile. And then when it comes to Chase Lee, maybe he's one of those guys out of nowhere that goes on a run and plays a big role on this team. Shout out Scott Harris for getting him. I forgot which trade he was acquired in, but he was acquired as an under-the-radar prospect, and he's giving you big-time innings out of the bullpen. So if you've got Holton, Kahnle, Vest, Herter, Hanafy, and Chase Lee all pitching well, that's pretty damn dominant. I'm not saying that they couldn't use another guy, but I think a lot of these bullpen guys heard me last week when I said that it was their biggest need. Not so fast, my friend. That's probably what they're saying.
Not so fast. Hey, you know what? Shout out to the chat family. I see you in the chat, Kiazi, with a couple chats. He says, it's because you guys aren't giving our pitching staff enough credit. The Tigers have a way of making teams look anemic on facing them. That's how. And then he also says, stop worrying about the Guardians. Why are you so afraid of a team? We should not be afraid of any team. I don't care who we face. Stop. Look, I'm one of those sports fans who does believe in the mojo. I really do. And some things are just things I choose not to deal with. I don't want to have that in my recipe. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes Wheaties, a little bit of sugar, I'm good to go. I don't need nothing else in there, man. So it's like, with this, I don't want the Guardians anywhere in this mix. We've seen some funky things happen. Let's rock. Now, if we play them, am I going to pick the Tigers to beat them? Every single time. But if we can keep them as far away as possible, I definitely would. And Steve-O, baby, Kool-Aid. When the Tigers get blown out by a team, they get angry and they stay hungry. That's what we've seen from this Tigers team, realistically. They'll drop a game. They may drop 2 games. But relatively, I feel like that's like the start of this team going on another run. Every single time I feel like I've seen the squad drop a series, it's helped to spur this team on to beating. Like, we'll see them drop a series against a squad they shouldn't, and then they'll have a couple games ahead that we're like, man, these are some tough games. These aren't necessarily handle your business games, but then they come away having won like 7 out of 10. That's what these Tigers have been. Yeah,
and Steve-O, baby, he had a really good comment earlier.
Yeah, he's been going this morning.
He's been on. Oh, here we go. I found it. Shout out to Steve-O, baby, for getting a little sentimental. I wish my grandpa was alive right now. He was a huge Tigers fan and lived to be 100. This Tigers team is going all the way.
Wow.
Hey, Hey,
shout out Steve-O.
Shout out to Steve-O
Big
Baby's
shout out.
grandpa, and I hope you enjoyed 45, 68, and 84. Because I'm sure if you were alive to be 100, you were
you've seen it all.
more than alive and well for those Tigers heydays.
Saw Tiger Stadium being built damn near.
And a couple more here from the chat. QT says Tigers are on pace for 102.7
Holy
wins. I think
shit.
that's a lot more than the 91 wins.
Yeah.
That I think we predicted. And then we even went a little higher than that when we went and did a little, hey, do we have to reassess? Justin from North Carolina, he says, but are we benefiting from a weak AL Central? I'm looking at the AL East, and every team except the last place team is above 500. Look, no, I'm just saying, when national media looked at those Detroit Tigers earlier in the season, after about the 20 or 30 game mark, they realized, though, yes, they're doing what they have to do against their own division, they are absolutely taking belt to tail against these other teams who they want to put the Tigers above. Even ESPN, there were so many weeks where we're talking about, hey, Tigers are number one team record-wise, and they still had them beneath the Dodgers and certain other teams. Then after a while, the Tigers did something no other team had done, and that was be the number one ranked team for 3 weeks in a row. What do all these things have to do? What did CBS say? What did MLB.com say? What did ESPN say? It's because of what the Tigers are doing to the top teams in the league that makes them respect who the Detroit Tigers are this year. That's why I do believe we see them get the 4 All-Stars, in the All-Star game. That's why I do believe you see all of these other kind of power ranking sites continuing to keep them 1 or 2 to move them beyond the Dodgers, a place that some of our fans don't even feel comfortable with doing. So it's like, I respect the sentiment, but I think it's because of what the Tigers are doing both in the division. They're absolutely taking care of it, but then also what they're doing out the division.
No, and there is nothing wrong whatsoever with benefiting from a division that isn't great. You look at teams like, for example, the Cubs and the Dodgers, who I believe the Dodgers have the best record and the Cubs have either the 3rd or 4th. The Cubs are looking behind like, gosh darn it, those effing Brewers. The Dodgers are like, gosh darn it, those Giants and those Padres. The Tigers, they don't have to worry about that right now. Let's just enjoy what hopefully is a relaxing end of the season where the division is not in question. And right now, I mean, as I'm looking, 14-game lead over the Royals and the Twins. Just enjoy it, man.
Crazy,
Like who cares if the division is weak? It's fine. No big deal.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if this was a recipe where they were fattening themselves up on the AL Central, it is something that we would be probably less stoked about in terms of what we think. I'm calling this team elite, though, not because of what they're doing necessarily to the Central, but because of what they're doing across a plethora of baseball. And it doesn't matter. You want the AL? You want the NL? How do you want it? You know what I mean? You want the Central? Either division? How do you want it? The Tigers are just, okay, we're here to beat your tail. And we'll do it politely if that's how you guys want it. And that's what they're doing. Every single game, every single series, man. That's why we're looking at this squad being the first to 50. That's why we're looking at the squad going to be one that's going to hit 60 wins before the All-Star break. And we're looking at a squad now whose general manager is saying, hey, we feel like we have a World Series team, and that is going to encourage us to be that much more aggressive at the trade deadline. And you look at the squad, and it's like you're not even talking about filling holes. Last year when we talked about the trade deadline, KG, it was about, hey, what do we need to make sure this team can even make a run towards the playoffs? Because they were going in the opposite direction after a good start to the season. This year you're talking about, like we do with the Lions, what extra do you need to make them that much more elite? Because you know that when you talk about World Series, when you're talking Super Bowls, when you're talking championships, there's usually just that much more to go. But this team doesn't have too many weaknesses.
No, and like you said, they don't have too many weaknesses. There are some things that you can point to overall, but they haven't hindered this team at all. I remember all offseason we were dreading how bad the defense would be in the infield and things of that nature. We haven't had that problem. We were dreading about what will this offense be, and, shout out to whoever made the comment that the pitching staff isn't getting enough credit. I don't think this offense is getting enough credit because at a bare minimum, I'm confident that the Tigers can go out there and at least play a resilient brand of baseball. And that's so helpful to a pitching staff, a rotation, a bullpen. When you know that, okay, I can go out there and know that my offense is going to get me a comfortable lead, or if I go out there and give up a couple runs, not to fret, my offense is going to be able to bail me out of it, and I have another chance to go out there and do what I do best. And same for Jack Flaherty yesterday. Started off kind of slow, gave up a home run early. You were thinking that, it's going to be one of them type of games for Jack Flaherty, but he settled in, and his offense had his back. And I think that is the biggest part about what this Tiger season has been. Yes, the pitching staff is great. We all know it's great, and they've had their ups and downs, but overall, they're going to be there. This offense just continues to go out there and be battle-tested, be resilient, and they go out there and show you, like, they are capable of being one of the best teams in this league, man, and they don't need to add a whole lot to this thing to make them hit that next step.
Not at all. And I see Weezy D313 in the chat. He says, I'm tired of y'all being scared of the Dodgers.
Jesus Christ.
Look at
I ain't going that
And
far.
all right.
I ain't messing with them boys in L.A.
Here's
I'm good on the West Coast
Here's
right
what
now.
I have to say. Nobody's scared. The reality
Not at all.
is that, and this is where I fight with fans of every single team in this city. All of these teams that we love and are on the up and up, except maybe the Red Wings, are still 0-time champions in this era. I'm not going to elevate the Lions over the Eagles or the Chiefs. I'm not going to elevate the Tigers over the Dodgers.
Hater!
I know. Let's look at our trophy case of the last, however many 17 years. Empty. And that's not a bad, they're at where
There ain't
they
no
should
dust
be.
in there because we work.
That's all. That's it. That's all. I guess everybody just only, I don't know. That type of mentality gets me upset. You've got to be mindful about the other good teams. And for the record, if you want to say that you're not going to see the Dodgers unless you actually get to the World Series, that's fine. And I accept that. I think the team in the American League I'm most mindful of, honestly, is the Houston Astros. They're proving once again to be probably the best organization in baseball with the way, Yordan Alvarez hurt for damn near the whole year. Who cares? Kyle Tucker traded to the Cubs. Who gives a damn?
And
Let's have Jeremy Pena be one of the best players in baseball.
And they play each other so evenly, it seems. They just do. Even though there seems to be some that A.J. Hinch has an advantage-wise over them, they just seem to play. They do, though. They seem to play each other very, very evenly, man. But Burn with the $5 super chat. The Dodgers, Giants, and Padres get to play 20 games against the Rockets. Also, the rest of the AL plays our division as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna worry about divisions being weak or divisions being strong. The Tigers just continue to take care of business.
You play who you play, man.
Oh yeah, I mean,
but it is crazy. Like last year, we all thought that the AL Central was this week, and it turned out it was this year. But yeah it's crazy.
No, and just to correct a mistake from earlier, I'm an idiot. The Dodgers do not have the best record of baseball. It's the Tigers. The Dodgers are on a losing streak, so shout out to the Tigers. I got one fact wrong. That's my one for the day.
What?
And I'll be kicking myself today. I won't be able to sleep tonight.
Sam Reynolds got something wrong.
I know.
He said I won't be able to sleep tonight. I don't know, man. Something tells me if you get into that big musket energy, you'll find a way, man.
Bang, bang.
Shout out to Lady Flannel, too.
We do need to show some love to a player on the team who we haven't got to necessarily in the last couple of days, and that's Colt Keith.
Yes.
Colt Keith is on an absolute tear right now.
Wait. Start off that next segment with Colt Keith.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah. Let's say what up, though, to Mad Packs. And that dude, Justin, you got to kick off the next segment with the Colt Keith love because, goodness gracious, that dude's been on a tear. Let's rock.
Oh, but let me tell you about Mad Packs, because I'm back, everybody. Mad Packs is the hottest new cannabis brand, and they partnered with us here at Woodward Sports. They already launched their brand new supply that they had out back in May, which is available at select retailers right now for you. So they got the high-low, getting you high for the low, delivering top-tier quality, unbeatable prices, and Kool-Aid's favorite, of course, that Boom Shakalaka, the live resin-infused tarantula. This one is the bomb. See what I'm talking about there? You got Blizzard Packs, THCA, Moon Rocks that hit like a blizzard. Stay tuned with us here at Woodward Sports for more details.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
How do you think you won?
We got Tully, everybody. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. Thenfights.com.
Stanford Buick at GMC has special offers for everyone. Get a 2025 Hummer EV SUV lease special at $599 per month plus tax, or try out the 2025 Hummer EV SUV lease special at $699 a month. Don't forget about the 2025 Sierra Double Cab Elevation lease special for only $169 per month. Get to Les Stanford today and check out their massive inventory. Les Stanford Buick and GMC. For all lease specials, go to lesstanford.com.
Hey, we are back. It's Wake Up Woodward Chat family. Thank you guys for kicking off the day with the Woo Crew. Go ahead and smash that like button if you haven't gotten the opportunity to. And we got a packed house in here, man. Intern Haley, intern Ryan right now training in the TD booth with Woodward Sports MVP JB Smooth back in the flesh. We got Detroit's #1 draft pick, Black Hollywood, that's KG, in the sound booth. Willie B, that dude Justin in the building. You guys already know Flannel Sam and Kool-Aid up here, but we got to talk about somebody else too who deserves some attention. That dude Justin. Tell me about one Colt Keith.
Tell you about our guy Colton. He has been on an absolute tear in the last 30 days. He has a 338 average with a 1.015 OPS. He's hitting 4 home runs and 12 RBIs in that span, with 7 extra base hits on top of the home runs.
Nice.
And then in the last 7 days specifically, he is on an even – you can't get this guy out. He's hitting 478 with a 1.452 OPS with 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, and 4 doubles. I mean, this guy is showing back? Why he's back, 100%. He's part of the He's Back tour. I think it's fair to say at this point in his career, he's just a slow starter. There's something about April and May that just doesn't hit Colt right, and the position change probably didn't help him, but he has now found his stroke. He's found that nice swing, and now he's seeing beach balls out there. When I went to the game 2 days ago, when he hit the home run and the 2 doubles, you couldn't throw him anything inside the zone. He was going to hit it. He was going to hit it hard. And all his swings had ridiculously high exit velo, all exit velo over 100. And that's what you want to see out of Colt Keith. He is one of the most pure swingers on this team, and I'm willing to say that.
Not mad at it.
Yeah. When I'm looking at Colt Keith this year, what I love is this. We have the Riley Green games, right? But we also talked about what is this team going to be when you have a guy like a Riley Green who might not have his best night, and what do you see a guy like Colt Keith be able to step up? And this is what prompted you, KG, a couple of days ago to even bring up Colt Keith's name, because we were talking about the fact that we got these all-stars that we can talk about, and we see these guys even improving on where they've been prior. Terry Scooble's taking a step up. We're looking at Riley Green taking another step. And obviously, Javi Baez took a huge leap, dog.
Right.
Like, I don't know how many steps that it was equivalent to a whole probably football field's worth of steps, man.
Yeah.
And how this team has done this is this. In the past, when they didn't have necessarily that support behind them, is where I believe it hurt this squad overall. Now you see the support, Riley Green can have a night where he goes 0 for 4, 3 Ks. You can have a night where it's not a lot from the back end of that lineup, but because of what somebody like Colt Keith has done, and we've heard other names throughout the season, could have been a Spencer Torkelson, could have been a Dylan Dingler, but Colt Keith, more than some of the others, has been like that dude Justin laid out. He's getting on a heater and probably one of the more consistent people you can rely on to step up on nights like that.
I mean, Colt Keith, what we've seen from him in his first couple of years is, I don't know if there's anyone in this Tigers lineup, and I'm even I'll say besides Riley Green, that can get as hot for either a short period of time or even for about a month as a Colt Keith. And what he's done in this past, like, he's been good this month and the month before. The very short month, he's been insane, and then last month he was good as well. He's actually raised it to where his OPS now starts with an 8. Man, oh man,
Crazy.
We're starting to keep accumulating guys in this lineup whose OPS starts with an 8. So yeah, Colt Keith, what he's done this year, which I find kind of interesting, and I think it goes more to like the depth of the lineup and Spencer Torkelson being better than we thought, and before the year, and Gleyber Torres being here, is that AJ Hinch pretty much only plays him against righties. And I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing, and numbers actually bear that out. 37 ABs this year against lefties, 205 against righties. He's become like a platoon star. That's not necessarily a bad thing, because to me, the greatest prerequisite of being a really good to great left-handed hitter is to just wear the F out of right-handed pitching. And that's what Colt Keith, over the totality of the season, he has an 869 OPS against righties. And I would suspect since the month of May started, it's been a lot higher than that, probably in the high 900s, maybe even close to 1,000. So a shout-out Colt Keith. He's one that throughout the year hadn't really maybe lived up, but now he's living up. I think it's even more important when you're getting these type of performances from people like Colt Keith and people like Spencer Torkelson, because these are your younger guys. Like, who did the Tigers, this regime of Tigers, go out there and put their money behind first? It was Colt Keith. And he is somebody that we are going to be looking at, probably your leadoff hitter for the future. So you need him to be able to improve in these spots. And I think this is the perfect time to get hot. You know, you're in the middle of summer right now. These months can drag on, especially in terms of a baseball season, but he's getting hot at the right time. Hopefully he can maintain that, because we're going to need him. It's going to be all hands on deck come playoff time, and you need a young hitter like a Colt Keith that can go out there in that leadoff spot and be able to get on base and make some things happen on the base paths.
You know what, man? I really like that perspective, too, because one of the things we were tracking a lot more earlier in the season was the differential run score, runs allowed. Not that, it plays as overarching or has this overarching effect over the game, but it does tell a story. And one of the things you see is early on, runs, they were much better as it related to runs allowed than runs scored. Mm-hmm. Now that thing is flipped. And I do believe that it has a lot to do with these bats putting up even more hits, more runs, obviously, than earlier in the season, at a time where we saw some of the pitchers, some of the bats probably give up a little, some of the arms give up a little bit more in the run department. But the Tigers right now, I looked at this thing about a month and a half ago. They were behind a couple teams as it related to differential, and right now they are up over the Yankees by over 10 runs.
Crazy.
That's crazy, and I do believe that it has a lot to do with guys like Colt Keith, and some of these non-stars, some of these guys who just missed out, like your McKinstry's and such. I think it has a lot to do with who these players are. I would love to be a fly on the wall of their development staff, because, and I don't know if Broder has any insight to add to this. How do you have this much success? How do you go from us believing and knowing we need 2 more bats to them just saying, you know what, we got it in-house already, from Spencer Torkelson and Javi Baez? Like, where do you go to get this type of improvement in-house? Like, I just keep thinking, like, I don't know if I've ever seen this out of any Tiger team I've watched, and I know that they used to do business differently, where they were going to sign their bats, but to see this type of growth, like even our favorite utility players are deciding we actually want to be better than Don Kelly.
There is no
speaks
Don
to
Kelly
development. I think it speaks more so to the development of the Scott Harris regime, though. They have built their calling card on development and, getting the most out of young players. So I think that goes a long way.
Yeah, there is no Don Kelly on this team. They're all
here. You go.
There's a lot of really good players, though. And speaking of development and speaking of young guys, I'm ready to do something that I wasn't quite willing to do at the beginning of the week. Spencer Torkelson should be an all-star.
Yes.
Spencer Torkelson was robbed.
Facts.
And I understand that when you, at the time that it was, that everything was set, I couldn't quite make the argument yet, or at least one that I'm comfortable with. But I put a lot of stock into, and I'm not necessarily saying this was a Torks mindset, but like, all right, I'll show you guys. Because I have now figured out whose spot that Spencer Torkelson should get. It might not be. It's not going to happen. I'm not trying to campaign or anything like that. I'm just going to use my pulpit to say what I believe in. Ryan, if you have the...
you know what? Go ahead, bro.
Go ahead.
I was hoping, because I'm just saying, man, like, I wanted Torque to be able to, especially with the start to the season he's had, the demons we know that he's buried, bro. Straight up buried. Like... we wanted to see this guy be able to be honored in a great way, and I'm glad that his mindset is on what he could do for the Tigers more so than what an all-star appearance could mean. But I really thought he had a chance to be able to do this thing, and I wonder if batting average just tripped him up. I thought the power numbers, if he could have had like a little burst, could have did something for him.
Come on, Wheezy. LMAO, I knew it. Green Bros still hate Torque. I'm the biggest Green Bro, and I'm about to campaign for Torque in the All-Star team. Come on, buddy. Come on. I see this groundswell of Torque hate in the chat, right? Right? No. Stop imagining things, Wheezy. We love you, bro. Stop imagining things. Put it up, Ryan, if you would, please. Because there is somebody whose spot that Spencer Torkelson should take. And that is one Mr. Jazz Chisholm, to the shock of absolutely
here you go, hating on the brother again.
I know, right? The only reason that Chisholm shouldn't be on, right? No, I'm kidding. But, all right, so when you look at the numbers, there's actually some things that favor Chisholm to me. But Spencer Torkelson has more home runs, more RBIs. The slash line is a little bit worse than Chisholm's across the board, but I think it's relatively the same. His OPS is a little bit worse. His WAR is a little bit worse. But my thing, though, that what really I think should disqualify Chisholm being above Spencer Torkelson, he's missed 31 games.
Yeah.
If you want to say his 2.4 wins above replacement in 60 games is damn impressive, I will give you that, but Chisholm's played two-thirds of the season. He's missed like a third of the season. And I just think with Spencer Torkelson, the way that he's being put out there every single day through his good times, through his slumps, and has continued to, I would say rake, I think is an appropriate term. Like I said, I've been impressed with his walk rate. I love his on-base percentage being 102 points higher than his average. I love his slugging percentage starting with a 5. Obviously, I love his OPS starting with an 8.4, 842. I think Torkelson should get the spot over Jazz Chisholm. And there is one very specific reason as well, because you may think, and I kind of presented this the other day, American League only wanted to take 2 first basemen, Vlad Jr. and Jonathan Aranda. However, the National League, they took 3 first basemen. I think Freddie Freeman, Pete Alonso, and who am I forgetting? Matt Olson. I think that the American League should do the same. I'm not saying that they're going to change anything, but I think Spencer Torkelson deserves the spot over Jazz Chisholm, mostly because Chisholm just hasn't played enough games. He's had a very good year. And you know how much I don't like him. I'm not going to say that the year that he's having is bad or anything, but you miss 31 games, you can't be an all-star unless you're like Acuna coming back and just being maybe the best player on the planet during the games that he's played.
Hey, and you know what, man? I'm looking at the chat here. WeezyD313, he put a lot of laughing emojis to put 31 games missed is nuts.
It is.
That is insane.
To make the All-Star team, it is.
That's
for sure.
To make the if this was the NBA, you're not getting in.
Yeah.
You're not even winning postseason awards, bro. Goodness gracious, I'm seeing a couple here. You got some support here, actually, though. Broder, flannel is right.
Hey.
And I saw a couple other people
Freddie
in
fell
here.
313. More like Jazz Chisholm.
Phil says yes. Sam is hitting today.
Whoa, Phil!
Hey, Gromit
Phil.
says Torque doesn't play third or second, and Jazz does. He believes it's the wrong comparison. I believe.
Gromit. I told you that the way that the National League did it, they took 2 reserve first basemen. I think that the American League should do that as well. It's not like I'm trying to get them to change a format to where it's unprecedented. Let's just put Tork in and just have a logjam of first basemen. I just want them to do what the National League did. And I'm not saying that Tork is as good as Matt Olson or Pete Alonso or, I mean, Freddie Freeman's actually kind of having a down year if you look at his power numbers, but still, I just think that in the American League, it should be Vlad Jr. Actually, it should be Aranda starting and then Vlad Jr. and Tork off the bench. That's just my opinion. And I think that I've got some evidence to bear that out. He's an 842 OPS, man. That's top 10 in the American League.
Eric Allen says Chisholm only got added because Boone is the manager. Tork is phenomenal. Give the man his all-star spot. And several people have agreed with Stewart in the chat who says Z-Mac and Tork, they deserve their all-star spots, man.
Street. Thank you.
Yes. Hey, I'm looking here, man. Broder in the chat also, because we asked for his expertise earlier. And he says Michael Brodar, the hitting coach, and buy in his hitting philosophy with Hinch up and down the organization. They actually have instituted a real developmental program. He just says that it took a little bit longer with the hitters, but that it is there. That this was an institute point. They went in saying, no, we have to get a difference. We have to have a difference made as it relates to what our development is going to do with the bats.
That's good info because, you know, huge. We glaze Chris Fetter all the time, and rightfully so. He deserves to be glazed. But the turnaround that this offense has made, you got to get a hitting coach some credit, man. I'm glad that they've made fundamental changes in order to fix some of these guys' swings because it's been bad for a while. Think about some of the teams
we've lost to in the past, though. We can remember the big plays. I just remember consistency throughout their lineup. Like, yo, they're solving even our pitchers. And our pitching staff was supposed to be the it thing. They were supposed to be the unsolvable. And so it's like, you know, if our bats are to that point where throughout the lineup you have this type of consistency in which we've seen teams that are less heralded be able to actually go and win a World Series, this bodes really well because then, by the way, we got people like Tork. We got people like Riley Green who will go out there and mash on your freaking face. Yeah. Like, this team is so stacked. And shout out to Broder for dropping that in the chat. It seems like the Tigers, before they decided to go out and just start dropping cash everywhere, they wanted to make sure that they had the right stuff in place for their development. Because how long did we say, well, we always know we can go out there and buy stuff, but the development from the farm system wasn't necessarily panning out the ways that we would hoped. Now they decided, let's bring in Chris Fetter, let's bring in Michael Brodar, let's revamp these things, and we're looking at, think about this, your one-of-ones of Casey Mize and Spencer Torkelson, right? We're looking at people be able to have renaissances, and they're helping to bolster what this team is. And now you get to go and say, now that we see everybody's taking a little bit of a leap forward, now you get to go and say, you know what? We actually just need an arm. Think about that. Before all of this, we always thought, we got to get a bat. We need another bat. They've invested the right way in their development, and now we're sitting here saying, now we have an embarrassment of riches. Let's just go and beef up the bullpen.
And that's still probably my number one priority at the deadline. I think that this lineup is proving to be better than any of us imagined. I think better than even some Tiger fans think right now. And a lot of it has to do with, not all of it, but a lot of it has to do with the guys that have been drafted and homegrown by the Tigers. When it comes to Torkelson, when it comes to Colt Keith, when it comes to Riley Green. I mean, WeezyD313 in the chat put up a power stat. Between Riley and Tork, 43 home runs. And what's funny is that doesn't it seem like, and I think the numbers will bear that out, that they're never hot at the same time. They stagger their hot streaks, but that actually probably makes it better because at the beginning of the year, we all know Riley was a slumping and Tork helped carry the offense. In last month in June, Riley had the best month of his career and Tork had a rough month. And right now, Riley's slumping again and Tork is hot. It's
crazy.
Peanut butter, no jelly, ham, no burger, cereal, no milk.
But that's the thing. Like, they're... And I'm not...
they just eat it, though. Like, I got this bowl of milk. I ain't got no cereal, though. It's good, though. Like, the Tigers are literally making every one of these situations like this thing is a filet mignon.
And I'm not trying to be too sentimental and be like, they're playing for each other, because I don't think that's necessarily it. But the way that the results have come out is that, like, hey, Riley, you're struggling a bit. I'm going to hit a Tork bomb. And the other way around. It's funny how it works, because... if I really feel like nerding out, I'd love to just go back at every box score and see how many times that both of them had great games, because I don't think you'll see too much of that. You usually see one or the other, but when One has an 866 OPS, one has an 842, one has 22 home runs, one has 21. I mean,
the ribbies.
Yeah, the RBIs. One's got 72 and one's got, I think, 57. I mean, all you really need, as long as you get contributions from other guys like Glaber and Javi and Dingler and now Perez,
Willie.
Sometimes all you need is one of those guys to go deep.
Willie is bothered.
Yeah, I just need to know. I don't know if you're bothered or if you're like enthused, but I just need to know what is going on in Willie's mind right now during the Tigers.
No, it's the name of Dingler, dog. It's like it's pretty hilarious what y'all say it, but I think this team could make it all the way, man, because this is too much a good team, and it seems like it's homemade. The Tigers last couple of seasons, look at the GM League eras. It's more talent back in the day. More talent. This one, 100%. Today's Tigers is more of a team aspect.
I agree.
Of the system, because we really not no all-stars. We are self-made all-stars. This reminds me of the 2004 Detroit Pistons. No, just the similarities of it. Similarities of it. So in that case, this team is a little bit more of a team aspect, because you got Spencer Torkelson. I know he deserved to be all-star, but Javier Bates came back. And you got came back from the dead, and you got Riley Green, back-to-back All-Stars, and Glaber. I'm gonna see.
Yeah, that was KG's guy from the beginning of the season, bro. Glaber Torres. Yeah.
And Spencer should have made All-Star, but this team is different. It's more of it's not star-studded, but it's more of a hard work, I'm gonna beat your ass type of team.
Right. So and I can agree with that. It's more spread out for sure, because I always say if we had the bullpen we had today back then, we would have had 3 or 4 World Series, man. Like that shit, we were devoid of a bullpen for all those years. It's crazy.
God, it was such an adventure.
It was.
Even when it was good, man.
Yeah, right.
Papa Grande would get a guy on base.
Papa Grande,
Ty Jones.
That is my guy.
Phil Colt.
Nobody can get you
off the fans.
Nobody can get you a save where you're ahead by 1 and you allow first and second with 2 outs and a 3-2 count, quite like Papa Grande.
I swear, but he came through.
He get it done though, man. His save percentage was immaculate.
There
with
would
the
be no
Tigers.
Papa Grande slander on this show.
No.
Yeah, shout out to the big potato, man.
But it does seem easier when Will Vest or Canely are out there.
Yes,
it's weird though, because they're not as good of closers as Jose
Don't
Valverde in terms
weird,
of closers.
Though? All the years of Tigers baseball we saw where the bullpen or at least closing games was an adventure.
Yeah.
And now we have this bullpen that we're just like, it's calm. Oh, I can actually breathe. Like I can breathe. Like I used to go into some of these games, even JV starts. If there was if Papa Grande was coming in the game, I was like, all right, Papa,
right.
We're fans of yours. But this is gonna be a ride, man.
Right.
Like it's a situation where you're exactly right. We're looking at situations where Jack Flaherty had a decent game, but the bullpen is what really, really, really shut down that game and made sure that we had a win. That to me, it's a sign of what I believe this team is going to be. And Willie B, you talked about it too, and you got some support in the chat for some people who do believe that Louise D 3-3. It sounds like the Pistons to me. A couple people agree that this Tigers team, from a team aspect, the way that they're playing and winning and potentially playing for each other, I do believe that that's a part of sports. It's not going to be your main driver, because even sorry teams say that they play for each other. But when you look at the things that made that 04 team special, there's some people who can see at least some framework of that right here at this Tigers team.
Yeah, and just for some looking up some Papa Grande numbers on the fly, just so we can be.
Cold.
No, 2011 he was immaculate, but 2012, the year they made the World Series, he had 35 saves, but a 3.78 ERA, and he was morbid in the playoffs.
Yeah, he was.
Morbid.
I do remember that.
Crazy clown. Papa Grande got it done most of the time, but I like the way Tommy K and Vest get them out better.
Hey,
that's how it is.
Hey, but guess who had aura? Papa Grande. The run to the mound, the knee slap on the way out. Come on,
yeah,
that's timeless, bro.
Boy,
Phil Colt.
My man on the mound, epic, dog. Absolutely epic. What you say, Willie B?
Phil Colt's interest when
the sprint to the mound. With the mustache. Yeah, dog. Yeah. What up, dog, intern Ryan? I know you've been trying to talk your talk for some time, man. What up, though?
Get your shit off.
Yeah, I was just going to say that this Tigers team makes zero sense to me. Like, at all.
Yeah, it doesn't.
They don't.
Like, Torkelson should not be this good. Javi makes no sense to me either, and he's an all-star starter. And then you look at the pitchers with Skubal, we know what he was going to be. But then you look at, like, Casey Mize being a dog, Flaherty, Olsen, and then the whole pitching chaos thing still to this day makes zero sense to me. How we can throw out a starter and he pitches 1-2 innings max, and then we just bullpen it, and then we still win games. Like this to this day, this team makes zero sense to me. And then you have McKinstry, who I got to shout out my CMU dog. Zach McKinstry, one of the best Fire up, and one of the best utility players in Major League. Like, this team overall doesn't make sense, but yet they're the best team in baseball. Just doesn't make sense to me.
Ryan, we've been saying that all year.
Yeah, that's why. Sometimes that's why I was like, man, we just gotta get to the bottom of this, Broder.
Yeah,
like, what's going on over there? Like, and it's right. Like, when you see the investments they've made, we should see these results. It makes sense, I guess, why they delayed just a little bit. Got to see what you have. Not just out of your players, but is this development staff going to get something good? We cannot keep going year after year after year talking about, yay, we got this draft pick. And then like 5 years later, is he going to be anything? Is he going to be the star player that we're hoping him to be? Now you're looking at them getting better out of who they have on the roster right now. You're seeing them get better out of the players they've drafted. And that gives me even more high hopes for the players that they just bumped up to Erie. Like, this team is now, when you talk about a pipeline, I think that's what gives you long-term success and a foundation of success. Now you can go, and if Chris Ilitch wants to open up the pocketbooks, now we can go to effectively fill in a spot or two rather than that's the whole team. Yeah. Like, I like what they're doing right now.
Yeah, I do too. And Ryan, before we move on to Rod, because I think, or like hope he's online.
He is.
What is it with you CMU people? Every single one in the media, whether it's Ryan, whether it's Chase, whether it's Jim Costa, cannot help themselves tripping over their ding-dings to be like, CMU, fire up chips every time any alumnus even mentioned.
Damn.
Does Justin...
We can't have no CMU slander, bro. I done had some great times in Mount Pleasant.
That's fine.
Bro.
Thank you, Thank you. But does Justin trip over his ding-ding to be like, Greg Jennings, Corey Davis? Look
at Justin.
That's a Western Michigan guy.
Central.
What is it with that?
Michigan? He gonna agree with that because
I gotta come right here. I gotta come out of place. Oh my God, I can't stand these Central Michigan people. They glaze all their old players. They act like Antonio Brown was amazing at Central Michigan. They act like they claim JJ Watt. They bring these dumb-ass little signs that they put all around the studio. Here, let me pick it up. I don't know where these even came from. There's literally 2 of these in the studio now. Like, they think that they're so sick. Like, what the hell is this?
It's a nice logo.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Like, I don't even know.
Man,
like,
it's such a dick move, but keep going.
What is such a dick move?
Justin,
they think that they can talk to a school that's actually won a national championship in a
We don't even have a hockey team, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, well, it's actually a relevant sport. Big 4 sport in the entire country. So
in hockey, big dog. I mean, as a Western Michigan Mustang
man.
or whatever.
Hey man, he put the hard Y on that hockey.
Y'all got much room to talk. That's all. Like, shout out to y'all.
We got all the room to talk. We beat them in football this year. They had nothing.
No, you didn't.
I graduated East Michigan, but they don't mean shit.
We're winning the all-time series. That doesn't matter. Winning the all-time series.
Well, that's the thing. Whenever we mention Max Crosby, does Willie B go like,
hell the fuck no.
He's a Michigan. The Central people are the most provincial alums I've ever seen in my entire life. T-shirt ends.
Exactly.
I've never seen anything like it.
I don't dick suck my alumni. Let's be straight up.
That's all we want.
I don't dick suck my alumni.
This shit is off the rails, dog. First of all, Sam, don't ever make that face again, please. You're a grown ass man. Don't ever do that again.
That me dying.
Willie, we not dick sucking anyone. Okay?
Exactly. We don't dick suck alumni. I don't do that.
We don't do anybody.
We don't do anything. We don't do that. I don't do it.
If you do that shit, it's your preference.
That ain't my preference. So we don't do that. We don't do that.
I'm just saying the Central hate is real in this room.
It's not Central hate. It's like the every single time a
Let
Central
them be proud of their school is Central.
With all due respect,
what are we talking about?
I forgot to put pause on that one, bro.
Their banker or something, and it's like, fire up.
What?
People are insane.
Because we get no love.
With all due respect. With all due respect to Central Michigan, okay?
I'm crying,
With
dog.
all due respect, okay? You can't even bring up the word Central Michigan without them glazing some aspect of their school. Like, I'm not even kidding.
We just say fire up.
We were talking about Michigan, Oklahoma, and Chase brings up the fact that they're going to be 1-2 after Michigan plays Central Michigan. Like, sorry, that's not going to happen. They're not going to lose to Central. And that's the delusion that is across the Central Michigan fan base. If Michigan played Western football, they beat the brakes off.
The Mid-American Conference suck ass anyway.
You're right about that. It's the back, though. Like, yeah.
And you went to Eastern, right?
Yeah, you suck ass in basketball while I was there. Just look.
Let Central be happy about their alumni.
They suck ass in basketball. Except for football program. That was pretty good.
We not even talking about Eastern, though. We gonna let Emu.
It's relevant, so let me. Yeah,
shout out Noah Kanega, though.
The legend. The legend. NK.
Right. Who's that?
Who's that?
Straight up, I'm being dead serious.
Hey, we'll explain it to you during break.
Straight up.
Let's get the legend on, dog. I gotta get the legend. Sorry, Rod.
And by the way,
go Blue, Rod.
I've seen you guys with your super chats. We will get to them probably after Rod, but you guys asked some great questions. We will not miss.
My man Flannel just straight threw that bomb, and then the whole time while Justin and Ryan are arguing, Flannel was just sitting there still like this. I don't know what to say. So like, dog, you troublemaker.
Hey, let's say what up to a couple people.
We gotta say what up though.
We're gonna start with Jars KG, and then we'll go to BlackRock Flannel. Then we'll send it out with some merch.
All right, cool. Well, let's talk about some jars because I need some damn jars right now. People talk about sucking things and carrying on. All right, Woodward sports fans, whether you're hitting the game or just simply chilling, Jars Cannabis has got you covered. Jars is home to Michigan's largest lineup of rec cannabis products. They've got 27 locations across the state, repping Michigan in a big way. 9 locations are right here in Metro Detroit, so there's always one nearby. And if you're in Grand Rapids, Madison Heights, or Milan, get ready. New stores are coming your way soon if they aren't there already. Go to jarscannabis.com to see where you can get your favorite marijuana products today.
And I hate to have to read this, but before I read my read, $4.99 super chat, Chandler Miller, go green.
Yuck.
I know, because you guys got
Look at JB.
Oh, man, I should have let JB.
You talk about them. Those are the people that really be, go green, go white. I don't know about
Michigan's a Big Ten school. Way worse than the MAC. Come on,
leave Central alone, but
you gonna see a Michigan State highlight reel, right? Hyping up the new season. It's gonna start with your voice. Go green.
Oh yeah, right. Even no. Thank you for the super chat though, Chandler. But BlackRock. Oh God, he's gonna put me in edit. Woodward Sports is because I also had to wear the damn attire when I lost bets to JB. Woodward Sports is heating things up with our sizzling new partner, BlackRock Bar and Grill. Home of steak on a stone served on a 755-degree volcanic rock. It's more than a meal, it's an experience. And now they're cooking up a summer giveaway. 8 weeks, 8 prices, and 1 epic finale. They let us in on a little secret. The grand prize is 4 tickets to Detroit versus Chicago. Home football opener on September 14th. Stay tuned. The prize drop and entry period opens this coming Monday.
And the Ingle, absolute dog. Not speaking of sucking, you know what TMU did that Michigan couldn't? Beat Kirk O'Bans, beat Kirk Cousins. That's right, that's what we did. But anyway, make sure that you head over to woodwardsports.com and click under that shop tab to make sure you're checking out all the latest Woodward Sports merch. So make sure you head over to woodwardsports.com and click under that shop tab.
Tired of losing out on the car of your dreams? Bad credit? No credit? At the Feldman Chevrolet Freedom Sale, we say yes. Over 5,000 new Chevys to choose from, all priced to move with our best deals of the year. Get a 2025 Silverado for just $149 a month, or this 2026 Equinox for only $209 a month. When other dealers say no, Feldman Chevrolet says yes. Don't miss the Freedom Sale, going on now at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Detroit sports fan, Woodward Sports is here to give you all the Detroit sports you can handle. Weekdays, make sure you're locked in on Wake Up Woodward from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Followed by Big D Energy with Neil Rule and Darren McCarty from 11 a.m. to 1. Up next, you can't miss Ermanni and Edwards with Maz from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And finish the day out with the bad boys of Detroit sports media, the Woodward Heavyweights from 5 to 7 p.m. Okay, wait, that isn't enough for you, you sports freak. Check out Woodward Wings, Woodward Ringside, and the Lions Weekly Update every Sunday with Broder, Terry Foster, and Sean Beligian. Subscribe on YouTube for all our great content, and make sure you're following on all social media. X, IG, Facebook, and TikTok. You want sports? We got you covered. Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. We got Tully, everybody. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Hey, Tony, what's up, bro?
Same circus, different clowns.
For sure. You want the usual, the big zip?
You know me too well. Oh.
I threw a little something extra in there for your ma.
Oh,
Hope
man.
she's doing all right.
Ay, guy, sei un santo. You're a saint.
All right, buddy, we'll see you next time, okay?
Grazie.
WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights. Live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Looking to upgrade your relaxation game? Check out Massage Chair House in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. The largest massage chair room in the Midwest, with the top brands for massage chairs like Infinity and Osaki. Located near the corner of Woodward and Long Lake Road. Experience the luxury comfort with Dr. Eric Duncan, the Wellness Doc. Creator of the top YouTube massage chair review channel. Book a visit at www.massagechairhouse.com or scan the QR code right above me. Massage Chair House, your ticket to ultimate recovery and relaxation.
Hey, shout out to intern Haley and JB Smooth. What in the world is going on here? That dude Justin, man.
I muted it.
That dude Justin. What did you say over there, JB?
And then which one is he coached?
Wireless mic.
We got the TV.
Yeah, put
booth.
it where it rightfully belongs, right there.
Yeah, get JB's mic on. Let the people hear what he's talking about over there. You good over there, JB?
Let's see. Check.
There
check,
you go.
Check.
There you go.
I don't know what's going on. Justin over here throwing CMU in the trash. Unbelievable right now.
Right.
And then I'm getting Go Green hate over here from Flannel. Like, what is this? What
I had to
is
say
this?
it because it was and speaking of a super
And I
chats,
like the chips too. Like, come on.
they are really provincial though. Let me clean these up before we get to Rod. And this is $4.99 from Robert Yaniak. Sam, how does the 2025 Tigers stack against 1984? I mean, there's some similarities, like 84, deep pitching staff, although I don't think Jack Morris is Tarek Skubal. You know, a lineup full of guys like Whitaker, Trammell, Chet Lemon was young, Kirk Gibson had really just became Gibby. They didn't really have a super duper star, but they didn't really have any weaknesses. I think this Tigers team has a better bullpen than the 84. I think there's certainly some similarities, and that is a really exciting sign. And you look at Dante151, for people who said Mize missed too many games due to injuries, as of July 9th, 2025, Casey Mize has missed a total of 14 games during the 2025 MLB regular season due to injuries. Yeah, Mize basically spent the time allotted for him on the injured list and came right back. You could argue he was snubbed as well. And one more from Byrne before we get to Rod. Our guys stay fresh because Hinch will sacrifice a game to win the next series with fresh legs. I don't know if he's sacrificing games necessarily, but
I get the sentiment.
He's done a good job of staggering Javi, platooning Carey and Colt. I get it. Jahmai Jones, too, now that Jahmai Jones has turned into a weapon against lefties.
The way he plays the matchups pitching-wise.
Yeah, Hinch has done a great job. And, oh, God. $4.99 from Chandler Miller. Mel Tugger was a U of M plant, but no one's ready to discuss that yet.
Tugger. Mel Tucker may have been a U of M plant.
Tugger?
Right.
Hey. Dang it, Chandler Miller.
He was tugging too much.
Tugging heavily.
Tugging on the wrong person.
That's it if you want to get Rod on.
Let's get
the
Rod
legend
on.
Rod Beard. He is the senior sports editor at the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Shout out to the legend. I hope you haven't been disappointing you, Rod.
Get him, Rod.
What just happened? What is this? What?
We don't know.
What do you mean?
You know what, man? We got KG back. This is gonna be the first Woodward pitches in a while with the whole fan, man. And so we got off the rails a little bit, man.
Yeah, I don't know whether to chalk it up to KG or just say that Flannel Sam just lit a Molotov and just walked out the room like he was he was a joker.
I looked over at him and was just sitting there like with a little smile, dog, like the Mona Lisa. I'm like, goodness gracious.
No, it was like it was complete Joker vibes. Like he just lit that and then just started dancing around on the steps. It's just like CMU, EMU, Western. Go do what you want to do.
Shout out to the legend Rod Beard chat family. Go ahead, put those likes on there and put some love in the chat for Rod. We'll definitely read it throughout the segment. But man, it's a lot going on, especially in the world of the Detroit Tigers, Rod, and there's a lot to like about them. All-Stars came out. They got 4 in there. But I got to ask you, did you believe that they should have had more? There's a lot of people who are looking at Zach McKinstry, and you heard Flannel Sam today talk about one Spencer Torkelson.
Yeah, I thought Torque might get there and McKinstry might be the other, but 4 is significant when you really look at it. And we really haven't been in this position where we've had the best team in the league with the best record in the league and saying 4 is not enough. Like, remember the years we were talking about, can we get 2? Is there a second one somewhere to be had? Riley Green was the only one, and is there somebody? But again, for this fan base, you have to get used to being on top. Don't take this for granted, understanding where they are right now. And just want to do a quick hit on the difference between the 84 team and this team. It's the managing. It's AJ Hinch that this isn't an extremely talented team, but he's won them a string of games just by moves that he's done and rearranging the bullpen and rearranging the batting order and the pinch hitting. Those little things have won them quite a few games that make them just a little bit better. And we've heard from other former players who say that's the difference. AJ Hinch is a big difference maker in how he manages this team. And so that Tigers team wasn't uber talented, and this one certainly isn't uber talented. But, I mean, there are these anomalies. There is the Javi. There is the Torque bounce back. There is the McKinstry that you just saw coming out of nowhere. A lot of this is just things coming together at the right time, which is kind of what we're talking about with the Pistons, too. You got to be in position to get lucky in some of these cases, too.
Sure. And, Rod, speaking of the Tigers, what's your confidence level in the starting pitching depth, guys like Flaherty and Reese Olson coming back, and the bullpen? They're on a heater right now, but there's been some inconsistencies. How confident are you in that?
7.5. That pitching just kind of comes and goes throughout the season. What really matters, and you guys talked about it with Papa Grande, is show me that in the playoffs. Show me in the postseason that you can come out and be dominant in that way. And again, that's where the depth is, where you have to build and make sure that you have enough starting pitching to get you through a series.
Hey, Ryan, it's so good to talk to you again, man. I'm only back because you requested me back. So just so you know, I heard you kept my name alive while I was gone. I appreciate that.
I got a fresh thing.
Fresh Post-it.
He got the
fresh
sticky
sticky notes. Hey, y'all know what it is, man. But I had to ask you just about what do you think the Tigers' philosophy should be at the trade deadline, because last year they were in a much different position at this time of the year. You were really just trying to stay afloat. This year they are leading their division, arguably the best team in all of baseball. Do they need to make any changes? Is there anything specific that you think they need, or are they fine as is?
I think the bullpen, you can go out and you can tinker with that a little bit. It doesn't hurt to go get another starter or maybe another bat if you think you need that too. But some of this is just getting guys so other contenders don't get them. And some of this is just making sure that you have the depth to get you through the postseason.
Yeah, and, I had to save. I wanted to ask in particular about one player who made the All-Star team, but I think it's
that some people don't think deserves to be an All-Star starter.
I toss it over to KG.
And just real quick, because I keep hearing this name, Byron Buxton. And listen, Rod, I hate to hate on a fellow brother. I'm not trying to do that, but I don't ever want to hear Byron Buxton's name again.
That's an absurd thing to say, KG.
Javi Baez
while Rod has on the Break the Chain shirt.
Listen, Javi Baez has had the greatest single-player comeback, definitely in Tigers history, and arguably in baseball history. From the worst everyday player in all of baseball to a all-star starter the next year. And what we're trying to get through to Flannel Sam is that these things do matter. Like the story matters. He's been the best story in all of baseball. The comeback, it matters. But do you think that he deserves to be a starter? Because obviously he deserves to be an all-star. But do you think he deserves to be a starter?
2 words: fan voting. That's all
it
is.
is.
That's this whole discussion. Fan voting. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the numbers are. And I think I said this last week. If you told me that Javi Baez playing center field would have more All-Star votes than Mike Trout, what are we doing? Okay, that's just what it is. It's not about numbers at that point. It's just what the fans want to see, and that's it. That's a simple discussion. It doesn't even matter. Byron Buxton is a better outfielder than Javi Baez. Is he having a better season? Doesn't matter. It's all the fans care about. That's it.
So he's having a better year. He should be thrown out the league, according to KG. Get him out. Cut him.
I just don't want to hear his name in this studio no more.
I'll keep saying it because he's better.
It don't matter. Say it with me now. AL All-Star starter Javi Baez. It's like a pimp name slip back. You got to say the whole thing.
I don't agree with it. I'm happy for him in the season he's had, but maybe for better or for worse, I'm an analytical kind of guy. It doesn't really matter about the teams. If the numbers don't match up, I don't agree with it. My bad. If you guys don't like it, fine. I know you guys don't. But
you don't like fun, but we rock with you still. Like, you are the fun police, though. Jesus Christ.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right.
No, like that's fine. I know you don't.
All right, let Byron Buxton live. Let Sam live too.
Thank you.
Shout out to Rob.
No, but one more question about the Tigers, because I know that he almost gets, I wouldn't say forgotten, but kind of the obvious one. Tarek Skubal has managed to have an even better year this year than last year. Have you seen many pitching heaters in your life like the one Tarek Skubal is on right now?
Verlander comes to mind. I mean, there were just times where it was every single start you thought was going to be a no-hitter. You just thought it because he had the stuff to make it happen. And Skubal is approaching that must-see JV level. He's I'm going to say he's not quite there because peak Verlander was just incredible to watch on a game-to-game basis. But Skubal is right there on that.
Yeah, hey, and you know what, Rod? We're going to say what up, though, to some friends, and we'll get back because we do got some videos from Trajan Langdon yesterday. Chaz Lanier, Detroit Pistons, second-round draft pick with the number 37 overall pick, had his introductory press conference right after Trajan had a media scrum. He said some pretty interesting things if people are looking to figure out what this team is going to be moving forward. Because I see Willie B. Willie B has been so unsettled by this offseason, man. And he's over there like rumbling and moving. Every day this week we've talked about this, man. He's in a place. We'll just say that. So let's say what up, Dustin's friends. We'll hear from Trajan Langdon. We'll get Rod's thoughts after the Trajan Langdon videos, and then we'll get right into Swish or Break. Swish or Break. KG's back in the building.
Swish or Break? My favorite segment on earth.
I'm gonna send you some things.
I got you.
It's me over to me for Caesars and then Buddy's Pizza. So let me tell you about Caesars Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports. Scan that QR code on screen. Use code word Woodward 1000. Deposit up to $1,000. But All you have to do is place a minimum of a $20 bet, and if it doesn't hit, Caesar will throw it right back in your account to double down on tonight. Shout out to Flannel right there. Scan the QR code on screen, use code word Woodward1000, and make some money tonight to hopefully pay for your buddies.
1946 and 79 years later, you all can still enjoy it at any of the 22 locations in the great state of pure Michigan. Fans can still visit where it all began as well, on the corner of 6 Mile and Conant. Sign up for Buddies Rewards to earn points on every purchase and receive exclusive promotions. Download the Buddies Pizza mobile app and start earning today. And make sure you guys are saving that 10% off on every single meal using promo code 10meal. That is the number 10MEAL, BuddiesPizza.com.
It's part beauty, part beast. It's for those who dare to be different, for those who want to stand out, and for those who are built for more. The all-new Ineos Grenadier combines strength and style for an unmatched driving experience. Sold exclusively at Feldman Ineos of Waterford.
The boys of summer are here, and Woodward Sports is all over the Motor City with the White Claw Tigers Tour. Come party with Woodward Sports, watch the Tigers, and sip on some White Claw all summer long. The best bars, big giveaways, live events, and a party that only Woodward Sports can throw. Ain't no party like a Woodward Sports party. Join us from 5 to 7 with the heavyweights at Second Best Bar in Detroit for the White Claw Tigers Tour, brought to you by White Claw, Easttown, and Van Johnson. Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you. Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Attention sports fans, so that's all of you beautiful people out there. Don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday on Big D Energy, every Thursday on Ermanni and Edwards, where he's offering top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that D-Mac does, because Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsandSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.
The S is for secret sauce. People don't know that.
Hey, you know what, man? Secret sauce is only for the initiated. Hey, welcome back to Wake Up Woodward Chat family. It's been a fun show. It's been an electric show. We've had a borderline crash out. We've had in-state mutinies and rivalries just reaching it. We've had intern Haley and intern Ryan holding it down in the TD booth and sound booth. And we also got the legend Rod Beard. Now, we also hear from one Trajan Langdon as we get into this Woodward Pistons segment. Rod Beard, I want to get his thoughts first. We'll get Rod's thoughts first, then we'll do Trajan Langdon because it kind of plays right into our Swisher Break question. So, Rod, it's a lot going on with the Pistons, or if you ask Willie B, not a lot going on with the Pistons, but with everything that's going on,
he is for real bad.
He's for real bad over here. Take it away with Rod's thoughts.
What, did he want them to have the number 5 pick again? We're beyond that. We passed that. We graduated out of that 5 pick. No, I think it's NBA's in a weird space right now. Like, Dame's getting cut. That's what we're doing. And now we're starting to see some of these signings and things are gearing up. You have to feel better about where the Pistons are, especially in the East, that just kind of staying pat and adding the pieces that they did. And I don't know where the hate for Karis LeVert is coming from.
Thank you.
Crazy.
You absolutely need a shot creator in that second unit. And if you're not starting Duncan, then having that three-point shooter to go along with that in the kick out, and we know that Karis is a capable passer, like that's a combination that you absolutely missed last year. So I don't know, but I feel better about where the Pistons are going to be just based off of the things that they did. And here in Atlanta, there's a lot of optimism about Porzingis and Na and the additions that they made to Luke Kennard. But it is the Pistons are right there. They have that opportunity if things go their way that they could be in the top 3, top 4 in the East.
Hey, you know what? And when you talk about just Atlanta real quick, before we go to the Trajan videos, they've made some improvements. I know that there's some people who feel bullish about what they can be next season. Definitely better than where they finished last year. As you see some of these teams retooling, as you see some of them making some head-scratching moves, you are confident that we're going to see a top 4 Pistons team next year?
I think top 4. Top 4, as long as they can avoid injury and they have that internal improvement. And I saw the Jalen Duren 3-point.
You saw the video. It's that time of the offseason,
man.
I mean, and it's just deja vu to me taking the Andre Drummond videos and like, hey, this could be a thing. And it's like, okay, here we go, all over again.
It's funny because, you know, when we're in practice, he does that every practice too, though. It's just a part of their routine. So it's funny when in the off season, when that same workout that I've seen him do the last 2 years in practices, for some reason in off season, it just sends people into a flurry. But it is good to see Jalen Duren trying to work on his game. I just hope that in addition to that, like we know, he's working on the other things as well, getting better defensively, getting stronger and such. And, you know, I think that's the perfect thing, the perfect way to segue into Trajan Langdon's comments and such from the press conference yesterday, because he did talk about the fact that we're going to see a difference out of guys like Ausar Thompson. He said Ausar Thompson looks different. He said he looks muscular. He's filled out. And that, to me, gets me excited because I do believe we need to see players like him, players like Jalen Duren, and even Jaden Ivey come back strong next season. Yep. So let's hear from Trajan Langdon. The first video, if we can, JB Smooth. Let's hear about that trade exception because that's something that everybody's wondering, hey, what are the Pistons going to do with it? He explained exactly what this creates for the Pistons and their outlook ahead.
Sacramento will allow us different avenues to do things, whether that's now or later. We don't know, but we're not in a rush to fill the 14th, but I think we're excited about the rush to put together.
Hey, Willie B, you're not going to like this. He said, hey, look, it gives us flexibility to have this trade exception, but we are not in a rush. We're not in a rush at all to use this thing. It's for the flexibility, and we've been teeing this up for months, even before the offseason hit, that we believe that the Pistons are really gearing up and keeping themselves flexible for the trade deadline as well as next offseason, where they have a whole lot of decisions to make on 3 of their young players and Tobias Harris's expiring contract, in addition to the fact that realistically, if they wanted to punt the players that they brought in this year to the moon after this season, they could do that too. So there's a whole lot of decisions they have to make, and I wanted to be able to at least get your take on Trajan Langdon saying, you know what, we're going to actually be patient and letting people know we're in no rush to use this. We like the way that our team, his quote, is built right now.
Same results next year.
You heard
him? Willie is upset, dog.
He's upset, man.
Take 5, bro. It's okay.
Who do you want them to go get, Willie? Who can they go get?
Who do you want them to go get?
You gotta.
Who? Will Rod's after?
You need You need a big. If it could be Bobo or you gotta make it possible, and then make it possible, not impossible trade, but they need something a stretch big.
He think
one
they
stretch
need that
big to boost the interior.
And you'll be satisfied after a stretch big.
Yes, that's it. Need help. You need help interior. That's what happened.
So you're not buying the Jalen Duren off-season 3-point videos? He was switching them, boys.
I'm buying them.
I'm not buying them either. And I rock with Duren. I'm not doing
it. If he can hit the 15, 18 footer, I'll be fine with that.
Yeah.
Just need help. Jalen Duren needs help. That's all
he does
need
help.
Needs. Because Paul Reed is not enough. He needs another.
Shout out B-Ball Paul. 2-year deal. My boy on the 2 year.
It needs another big to help out on the defensive end. He don't have to do that much. As long as he in the interior or he shoot a 3-pointer or he defend, that's it. That's all we need to pitch.
Okay, so an interior presence who defends and who can stretch the floor. Let me introduce you to Isaiah Stewart, who was hurt in the playoffs and did not play. It checks all the boxes of everything that you just said, and he was a little bit limited by they need more help than Isaiah Stewart. I mean, I don't disagree.
What a bubble.
But I mean, yeah, his 32% is not going to be enough from three. You need somebody else, but I don't know if that player is out there. Like, if you were going to get John Collins, are you going to pay John Collins? So in dealing with a lot of these free agents that you want to go and get, not you, but people just want to go and get, one of the things that Trajan Langdon has done very well is to keep the cap flexibility. Is no albatross Blake Griffin contract that you're looking at. Ooh, I wish we could get up off of that contract. And even Isaiah Stewart at his $16 million is a bargain right now. When you see what people just got paid, that you're paying him a what was a bargain at the time, and we said that it was a bargain. It's $15 million a year, but it's something that as the cap continues to increase and people start getting paid and getting re-upped, that we're going to consider that to be a good deal in a couple of years, and it very much is that.
Yeah, definitely, man. And you know what? That's what he said, too. What I like about Trajan Langdon, as I like about Scott Harris and Brad Holmes, and even Eisman, is these people are actually true to what they say their plan is. And Eisman was for real with us when he said, hey, look, bro, my goal is not the playoffs this year. It's to build for the right way. He said it. People can see that they're still building somewhat the right way. But with I see you right.
I mean, give me the same face I was making there. I mean,
he was trying to be nice. But Trajan and Brad and you're looking at Scott, these guys have been true to it. He said, we're not going to do anything that's going to hamper the future for us. And I understand why. They have a lot of decisions to make. And I think people have to just even if we don't understand how all the CBA works, just look at their situation next offseason. It's crazy the amount of cap space that the Detroit Pistons could create by next offseason. It would be ridiculous for them to go and hamper themselves right now unless it's for a player that you believe is going to be firmly a part of your future. And you know what, though? Yeah, talk to me.
But even more, you keep that trade exception, and when you get to the deadline, you can bring in somebody. So everybody feels like they're in it right now, and they have an opportunity, and these free agents are happy because, hey, we're about to start the season, blah, blah, blah. When you get to the deadline and teams realize that they're out because of other injuries, because they just didn't live up to expectations, now you have an exception that you can bring in a $14 million guy, and it's, hey, it doesn't cost you anything in order to do that. So to Willie B's point, you can wait it out. You don't have to go into the season that way, but, hey, they have some options in their bigs. Is Asar going to come in and be shooting better? Those are the types of questions that we need to be asking. And yeah, I would love another big too. They're not deep at that point, at that position, but you have the opportunity to go and do some things. And with this depth, you can go and trade some of these younger guys that you have if you really feel like you're close and there's a guy that you want to go out and get.
Exactly. And the thing is that I'm starting to gather, Rod, is that the young player's value is not established to the tune that the Pistons are okay with. Like, they're not going to sell cheap on guys like Jalen Durant or Sar Thompson or even a Jaden Ivey if they were going to sell them. And that, to me, is a sign of a healthy organization. These are your lottery picks. These are your top 5 picks, and during a top 13 pick, who we know the Pistons organization had them on their top 5 on their draft board. You know, top 5 players, period, in that draft. So we understand how they value these guys, and I actually do. When you look at what the Tigers have done to go and bolster development in-house before they went and started splashing cash everywhere, I actually appreciate the fact that the Pistons, they're not just assessing, but they're trying to help these guys get better. What did they go and do? They went before they even had a head coach in the Trajan Langdon era and brought in Fred Vincent. Looking at what the Tigers are doing right now, they did those moves. Those equated to winning moves. I'm looking at the Pistons doing it. It's equating to winning moves. I like the fact that they're going to put a lot of value on these draft picks. Otherwise, what are you doing? Why pick these guys? Why dub them to restore? You know, why say that this is the help that we have? Because Trajan, from my takeaway from this press conference, he 100% believes in these young players. Let's start with Jaden Ivey clip, and then we'll end it with the longer clip after that, where he talks about he believes what he's going to do, what they're going to do in the East. I'll save his answer for that clip, but let's go with the Jaden Ivey one right now.
I think the one thing that does get lost in all this, to be honest with you, is J.I.'s return. I mean, a lot of people are saying you know, who you fill and who you help, and these guys are exiting. I said, well, we have a pretty good free agent pickup in J.I., and so I think he's going to fill a lot of those point guard roles and playmaking roles, and but Karras will fill in that loss of Dennis going away as well.
Yeah, and in that one, you hear Trajan Langdon talking about Jaden Ivey. This question wasn't even prompted by how's Jaden Ivey doing. This was a question prompted at, do you believe you've effectively done enough to shore up this secondary ball handling role in the offseason? Trajan Langdon is the one who went and offered up. So, like Monty Williams a year ago or 2 years ago, just unprovokedly brought up Killian Hayes when we were trying to figure out about Marcus Sasser and Jaden Ivey. This year, we asked about the backup role, and you know what? Jaden Ivey is the first name out of the GM's mouth, out of the president, of basketball operations' mouth. And he stated, you know, Jaden Ivey is a guy that we believe will and can handle all of this. Secondary facilitation, backup ball handling, because I know there's a lot of people who are worried about losing a Beasley, losing a Schroeder, and have we done enough to replace that? Trajan really believes in what Jaden Ivey can be as an overall player to fill those voids, and he also mentioned, you heard there, Karras LeVert.
Karras LeVert. That was going to be my 2 words. Karras LeVert is a backup ball handler. He's not a point guard per se, but at that size, at 6'6", you want another ball handler who can facilitate and create, and he can do those things. I just think it's going to end up being a very underrated. It is a very underrated pickup right now, but we'll start to see the fruits of that as we get into the season.
Definitely. And we got one more video for you guys, and this is Trajan Langdon on his assessment of this team and what they can do in the East, because we continue to ask. Like, I know Willie B's over there scowling. Have we done enough? Let's hear from Trajan Langdon, man.
I think we have a chance to compete next year. So when you say representative, I think the main thing that for us is continuing to let these young guys develop, and they're in the gym and they're working their butt off. So our thing is, like I said, from initially in the summer, if they get better, we're going to get better. So it was still finding pieces to complement our young players and their growth and their ability to reach their potential. So obviously putting people around that's going to continue to help Cade grow and develop as well. I think with our 2 additions, we got bigger. You know, we want to continue to put guys that can play make a little bit, but also can shoot the ball. These 2 guys have postseason experience as well. So I think in a way that, you know, we do get bigger. Will we be better? I'm not sure, but obviously that comes from, again, the growth of our young guys being in the gym and development.
And he continues to put this offseason and what this team's success will be this year right back on those young players. He continues to say, if we're going to be anything, it's going to be about how we build around these guys, how we build around not just Cade, but all of these other young players that they're saying, these guys have to make the step. What they're doing in the gym, and he's continuing to say this, they get better, we will get better. That's a crazy endorsement, because this is not just the GM, this is the president of basketball operations, in which they gave him singular voice of power in this whole entire basketball thing for the Pistons. And he's stating that these young players can take such a leap between now and the start of next season that it's as if they've went and added a couple good players to this squad. That's how much belief he has in them, that this team, as currently constructed, even though they don't even have all of the pieces they had last year, they haven't even one-to-one replaced everybody. They just believe in that much in the young players and in the Jaden Ivey that this team is going to step up out of 6th seed and be a team that has a potential to host a playoff series, Rob.
Right. And the thing is that you're not panicking. This was the summer that you could have panicked and said, you know what, let's trade everybody. Let's go get KD. Let's go get one of these bigger names. And we need a guy who's going to be Batman to Cade's Robin or it's not that. And the fact that your front office isn't panicking to try to make a move like that is a strong signal that they're on the right path. You don't have to go all in and push all the chips in order to be relevant. Sometimes you just get the right timing. And with all of these injuries in the East that we've been talking about, by virtue of that, you're going to be better than you were. And you count on that internal improvement. And we've seen the drive from Jaden Ivey that he wants to be better. With a lot of that stuff just coming back and the pieces that they've added, they were very specific things. Like Karras LeVert was not this, maybe this is a guy that we could use. No, it addresses a very specific need. And the pivot to go Duncan Robinson after the Beasley stuff was we know we need 3-point shooting. Mm-hmm. And we know that he is a consistent, proven playoff guy. And as much as we love Malik Beasley, you look at what they've done, and nothing was super splashy. But if you thought you were losing Schroeder, they've kind of pivoted pretty well to cover that stuff up, and to not get a player back in that Schroeder deal, to still end up with a ball handler in Karras, I think they did pretty well with what the circumstances ended up being.
And you know what? We said this early on. We said, you know what? We're going to call this the offseason of pivot. And he had to do it twice in this offseason. I thought he came away quite well. And you should put the onus on these young players. Rod, we've been sitting up here telling the Woodward Pistons audience and Woodward Sports audience for a few years that this rebuild, this renaissance, this ascending to the next level, it has to be off of these young players and their energy and what they're providing. You look at the Magic right now. I'm sorry, everybody thought that they were already I guess healthy isn't the right word. I was going to say healthy organization, but obviously they're dealing with injuries to Paolo, to Franz. Those are about the only things that can trip them up. But we know if those young players are playing, those young players are leading that Magic team to the playoffs. We haven't been able to say that about our young players until this year with Cade Cunningham taking that next step up. We need the rest of these guys. Like, who's Cade's Paolo to Franz on this squad? Do we have that? And based on what I hear from Trajan Langdon, it sounds like he does expect at least one of these young guys, whether it be Jalen Duren or Sar Thompson or even a Jaden Ivey, to take that step next year. But I think we have some we ready for Swisher break?
Oh, of course.
Yes. Should we
My
take a quick
segment.
one, JB Smooth, or we just get through the Swisher break?
Let's just hear from Vin Johnson and come right back to you then. How about that?
Hey, let's do that, and then we'll throw the graphic up to make it official. So we want the chat family to definitely be involved as well with Swisher Break. But if you've got a crisis, let Vin point the way. Step one. Hey, Willie B, this is for you. You got a crisis right now in the Pistons world. Step one, verify with details and photos. Step two, engage your attorney.
What you think?
Step three, notify your insurance provider. Get justice with Vin. Vin Johnson Law. Hey, and we are back. Let's see that graphic, JB Smooth.
Gotta throw it up, man. I ain't seen it in
Especially-
so long.
Hey, Swisher Break.
God damn, that hits me right in the
Throwing
feels,
the pass
man.
over to KG. What up, though, brother?
Hey, y'all know what it is, man. Swisher Break. We got some great questions constructed by Kool-Aid. I only got one to add to that if we have time. We'd love to get that one off, but we will start here. Trajan Langdon deserves at least a B+ for the Pistons offseason, swish or brick.
When we're talking about the offseason of pivot, I do believe that this is a passing grade. I do believe that this is more than a passing grade. I think this is more than a C. I think that this is, when you look at everything that he had, he kept the cap sheet clean. He kept their flexibility at the trade deadline wide open. So if there is a need that presents itself, they can actually go out and play with a lot of money without adding anything else to their books. They already have it already taken care of, and they've gone, and the positions of need that they lost, they were able to fill those things. I believe it is a B+. But what say ye, Flannel Sam?
I'm going to say brick, but not by much. I think Dad with Tourette's nails it in the chat. IDK, I don't know about B+, but I'd say B or B-. There's one move in mind that I would like Trajan to make. We may get to it today. We may get to it later this week. That would make it a B+, A-. But I am... As basketball players, I understand Karis LeVert and I understand Duncan Robinson, and I've been championing these moves on this show. Right now I'd say B or B-, not B+.
Yeah, you got a lot of support for the Bs. I see some swishes in the chat from Greg, but we'll continue to go around. Hey, Willie B, I gotta ask you, man. You giving him that B+ swish or brick?
You like a disappointed parent right now. This shit is crazy.
A break because they need one piece. Like Flannel said, I'm backing Flannel on this one. Is that you need a backup big for even Stewart and then Jalen Duren.
JB Smooth. Oh, JB Smooth.
I was gonna say Willie still has something else, but I don't want to say it's a brick. It's like a missed layup. I'll say that it just rolls off the side of the rim because it's not. B+, I'm giving it, but at least a B, a solid B. You still want to see him make some more moves. Hopefully you can get rid of Tobias and get another big, but that's just
They back on that shit again. They back on that again. Now that the season over.
We understand.
Back on the bullshit.
But anyway, It's a solid B. It's a solid B. You're still hoping that he makes some moves, but it's a solid B.
Wait, they still have Tobias? F, right, JB?
Yes,
F.
yes.
No, F.
JB, we're not doing that. That man damn near like carried us through this playoff run. We're not gonna do that. But
He carried the orange slices.
I agree with Sam and KG. I mean Sam and KG.
You
Sam,
agree with KG?
Yeah, of course I
KG?
agree with KG. But Sam and JB, I do agree with. It is a solid B for me. But what a lot of people and Ryan, I'm so glad you came on here and spoke the gospel about Karis LeVert, because the outrage in terms of that signing was like blasphemous to me. I know he's not the bordering 20-point a game scorer that he once was, but that's a very, very good addition to this bench. I think most people just forgot that this Pistons team is ahead of schedule. Like, and you know, Kool-Aid, we kind of talked about it yesterday. Like, that maybe the decision was always whatever happens this year happens, but we're looking at 2026, we're looking at 2027. So I'm not mad at anything they've done. You were able to pivot from a Malik Beasley situation and were able to get Duncan Robinson, who is the same type of player. Literally, they are a wash. And you went out there and got Karis LeVert to replace a Dennis Schroeder and, in some instances, Simone Fontecchio. So I'm cool, man. Could they do more? Yes, I still think there's more to be done. But as of right now, I'm cool as a fan.
Hey, you know what? The chat lit up with this one. Dante151, he says a swish. A Diz says brick. He gives him a B. Dad with Tourette's, you read that one earlier. He says he'd probably say a B. Charles McClain, brick. Hey, Dad with Tourette's gives him what, the maybe B minus. Greg, though, he gives him a swish. John Effing Lord, a swish. Terrell Lamar gives him an A. And I saw, who was it? Somebody that stated, I think it might have been A Diz, but it stated that, oh, here it is. L, actually. He says he gives him an A+. Because they have foresight. They had the foresight to keep money for the trade deadline. I actually, I get it.
And that trade exception could be huge in terms of a deal later on. We don't know.
What say ye, Rod Beard?
I'm going to say a solid B. So it's a brick, but I'll say a solid B. If they went and got Brooke Lopez, I would go A+ all day.
Oh yeah. Without a doubt.
That would have checked all of the boxes for what they needed. But I mean, it is. When you look at what free agency was, and all of the names that we talked about, the Bobby Portises, the Nas Reeds, even the Salty Adam, all of those folks came off the board immediately before even the negotiating period was really open. Yeah. They were all gone. So there wasn't a big to go out there and get unless it was like a Brooke Lopez. But he wanted to go to the Clippers. He thinks that's a better deal. Hey, stay in the East and join this Pistons team, and they could be fire. But for what they did in having to pivot last minute, I think that gives them a solid enough B.
Hey, shout out. That's fair.
Absolutely. Rob speaking the gospel, and kind of to piggyback what Sam was talking about, I know what player you was referring to, and we have a question for it. The Pistons should pursue one of P.J. Washington or Obi Toppin before the season starts, swish or brick.
Hey, listen, you're talking about some players who, with Obi Toppin, you've seen this guy play in a lot of different situations. I do believe he brings some experience to you. And with the P.J. Washington, I love the versatility that he brings to this thing and a little bit of that Detroit grit. And I do believe that P.J. Washington got kinfolk from here. I believe it's his father who might be from the Saginaw area. And so I got to start with you, Flannel Sam, because I do believe that one of those players would absolutely be a swish of a free agency for the Detroit Pistons. But what say ye? They got to pursue one of these two players, swish or break?
Neither of them are actually my first choice, but I will go with swish because I really like Obi Toppin. From everything that I've seen, he would fit under the trade exemption. Showed a lot in the playoffs and the finals. Has improved his three-point shot. Obviously, is athletic, can rebound, can defend. I would love Obi Toppin on this team.
Well, would that make you happy, Willie B?
Oh, definitely. I'll give a switch because I definitely Obi Toppin, high flyer, 6'9". He been athletic. He don't play his role. He can rebound. He can bend a little. He's perfect. I like P.J. Washington a lot better. Yeah. Because the way he does in Dallas, and he's athletic, and he can guard multiple positions. So I lean to P.J. on that one.
And just one more extra thing about Obi Toppin, wouldn't require a lot of usage. Did a lot of damage on less than 20 minutes per game last year in the regular season.
That's actually a huge point. Yeah. What up, though, JB Smooth?
This is definitely a swish. I wouldn't mind a P.J. Washington. He did a lot for the Mavs, as Willie just stated as well too. But I think I prefer Obi Toppin a little bit more. just as what Flannel said, you don't have to use him a lot, but still, he's very athletic, and you like what you've seen out of him in the playoffs this past season. So give me Obi Toppin and a swish.
What up, though?
It's a swish on one of these guys for me. I think PJ Washington would be the perfect addition to this team. Like the way he defends, he can hit a 3-ball, he drives the paint. Like he is everything that you would want in a player fitting the mold of this Pistons team. I'm still not sold on Obi Toppin, and he did have a great year, and Sam has done a great job of like trying to illustrate that. Maybe it's just some of my bias from what I've seen from him, but he still seems a little bit limited to me, as opposed to a PJ Washington that can play all over the floor. But I would pursue PJ, but if it's Obi Toppin, I wouldn't be upset. I just don't think that it's not a dire need to pursue him.
Yeah, and I see the chat is split again, man. I'm seeing some swishes here from John F. from Lord, from Mitten May, from Greg. A says PJ was solid on the Mavs. Dad with Tourette's. PJ is a big. Want to a lot of Pistons fans. I guess a lot of Pistons fans definitely want PJ Washington here. I also saw some bricks in the chat too, but largely it seems like people are for it. But Terrell Lamar says brick. Dante151, he wants Toppin, and Weezy D 313, he says neither. Which I saw a couple of those in the chat too. Neither? You don't want neither of those?
Right, what?
Run it back. You good to go? Hey, Rob Beard, what say ye?
I don't think Obi Toppin is gettable. Because he's in that 15 mil range, 14 this year, 15 and 16. His contract escalates over the next couple of years. You probably have to trade to go get him. What is PJ Washington's salary for next year? Expiring 14.15. What is the Pistons trade exception? 14.2.
Oh, you
cook
it. You cook it.
Go get that man on an expiring. And that was what I was alluding to. That's what I was alluding to, is that at the trade deadline, because Dallas can say, you know what, with Cooper Flag, we don't really need to have PJ, but that's a guy by the trade deadline, if Dallas figures out, hey, we're not in this like we thought we would be because AD needs another surgery for
goodness. I need them to kick the tires again. Remember at the beginning of the season,
what were they thinking on AD? What were they thinking on AD? It's just.
It wouldn't have been that bad of a move if he hadn't have got hurt, though, because the way that front court was constructed defensively, they would have had trouble in the playoffs. Like, a lot of teams would have had trouble in the playoffs.
They would have.
Who gets hurt more?
But Anthony Davis. It's fair.
Anthony Davis or Zion Williamson? Who gets hurt more?
Zion! What the F are you talking about, with all due respect?
Oh, here comes Sam. Sam from the top rope to defend his boy.
This idea that AD gets us hurt as much as Embiid and Zion is not proven out by the facts.
Every year. It's every year. You can make one of those little skeletons with body parts of everything that AD has hurt in his career, and it's always something. He's going to play through this every year. It's something.
It's Anthony Davis. I'm sorry.
What can you pick out
more than Zion? Zion's played like 30% of the games in his career. What are you guys talking about? He doesn't play games. AD's going to the freaking Hall of Fame when he retires. He is.
Yes,
he is.
But at this stage,
he is.
I don't think at this
he's
stage,
hurt every season, though. That is not a lie.
I think that narrative does matter. If we're talking his career, yes, there are things to like about AD, but at this stage in his career, I don't feel comfortable with either one of those guys on the squad, especially with how much they're going to command. And do I expect Anthony Davis to be injured before the trade deadline? Do I expect it to be an injury that makes him have to think, do we have to go on ahead and do something different? I do. I don't expect him to be some pivotal figure for the freaking Dallas Mavericks. I remember last year him going, "Oh yeah, I'm here," and then that was just it. He was just an act like just that, and that was it. And that's what I expect out of him going forward.
I am gonna go to everybody.
No, it's a detached It's a detached retina now. Is this latest thing from yesterday?
Right.
Detached retina that he played through.
His eye hanging out.
He played through it. He played through it, but it's an injury every single year for that dude.
That's crazy, dog.
I am going
You gotta admit, dog, a detached retina is wild.
It is wild.
I am going to be at Anthony Davis's Hall of Fame induction. I mean, like, that's my guy.
Yeah, that's
my guy.
Nobody said he's not a Hall of Fame player, but he's soft.
The after party.
Absolutely.
Champion, 2020 with the Lakers, no big deal.
Where did they play that?
Played 75 games or more 3 times in his career. I'm sure Zion's done that.
He won that on the. He went like on the road. He went home.
Oh, so the bubble doesn't count now. Congrats.
Oh my God, y'all hell on the bubble.
I'm not on that train. The bubble counts.
It does count.
The bubble counts.
I'm sure if Dame Lillard and any other team would have won it, it would have been fine. But because it was LeBron and AD, people hate on it. That's fine. That's fine.
No,
It's heavy.
AD's cool. I'm just saying which one of them is hurt more. Is like you can make up a press release with an Anthony Davis injury because you know it's coming. He plays through his injuries, and I'll give him credit for that. Zion is just, he gets injured and he's out for 10 games every single time. So I'm not saying that one is more than the other. I'm just saying AD is oft injured.
Zion out with wobbly legs.
Right. Most of the Zion shit came from weight, man. But I'm just saying. But
weight and habits.
I ain't think we was gonna get caught up on just that question, but we'll get two more off.
Brought Anthony Davis to a flannel party. What did you think was gonna happen?
Yeah, that's true. He gonna defend his boy at all times. But the next
and
question.
CMU. You brought CMU to the party too, and it's not that kid.
It's so easy to irritate Flannel. We don't know day to day what might irritate Flannel.
With all due respect for me, man.
Right.
Like, Flannel caught himself so quick. He looked at the monitor and saw himself like, oh, God.
Mr. Glass.
KG.
Save us, KG.
KG, before you go on to the next question, I just wanted to add my input.
Talk to him.
Let's go. What up?
Talk to him.
PJ Washington, I feel like at 26, he'd fit well with veterans like Tobias Harris and then also younger investments. And then also, like, the Pistons need power forward, and getting some power forward youth is great.
And it fits.
Haley dropping facts. Haley dropping facts.
Intern Haley in the building. She's learning the sound booth right now. Hey, I see Terry Foster walking in here with a mean lip and some paste this morning. I don't know what happened. Shout out T. Foster in the building too, man.
What is going on
today,
today,
Get us the
man?
third question real quick, KG.
Young man, how you doing?
Get him his emperor's chair now.
Right. I'm sorry, I'm in your chair. Next question. Jalen Duren and Asar Thompson will prove Langdon right. They will step towards stardom this season, swish or brick.
He continued to talk about what these young guys have to be next year, and that these guys are in the gym working, that this is what the success is going to be built on, and he says that they will be better because these young guys are going to be better. We'll start with you, Flannel Sam. And it's a pair. It's a pair. It's not an or. It's a pair. Jalen Duren and Asar Thompson.
Brick.
Ooh.
Why?
Ooh, the pairing.
Here's what I think they will do this season. I think Asar Thompson will get more offensive usage. I also think that he will be in the conversation for all defense NBA first team, and I think Jalen Duren will average about 14 and 11. I don't think Jalen Duren's a star. Sue me. He's fine. He's a good player. I think he'll continue to develop. But
You got a lot of people disagreeing with you in the chat.
I think Asar Thompson has more star potential than Duren. I don't think Duren has star potential. Not that get him off the team or anything, but I don't think Duren has star potential.
Oh, look at Willie.
What up, though? What say ye? And it's fair.
What the fuck you just said? I love you, fam, but god damn it, excuse my language. Sorry, Mr. Beer, and sorry, intern Haley. That's my language, but I called it switch because Jalen Duren has stardom. He has stardom. He got a traditional big man role. He could double. He's athletic. He could grab rebounds. He could, if his offense got better, he gonna go on the starter. He could probably be an all-star next year.
We saw Drummond we saw him get all NBA. We saw him become an all-star.
Yeah, we saw Drummond all-star. Why not Jalen
Durham?
Why not Jalen Durham? He deserve it. And Asar Thompson, yes, he could be a utility. He could be more offense. I think it would be a good chance for him, both of them going to stardom. But I think Jalen Duren will be the first one. Then Asar Thompson will be.
You got Jalen Duren ahead of Asar.
Yeah, because
I don't think he's
Asar
crazy.
is a switch.
I know you know. We'll get to you.
Yeah, Asar Thompson is a switch army knight, a Scottie Pippen type, but more muscular, more athletic. If he got offense together,
a better Scottie Pippen.
I go hand in hand.
Flannel was stopping himself.
I help you out with that, Flannel. You know,
oh shit! Wait
I'm just joking.
All right, JB. Yeah, right. Let's move it right along.
It's a pair. Duren and Asar. They're gonna prove Langdon right. They're gonna start stepping towards stardom next season.
Give me Swish on
Let's
this
go.
one. Give me Swish. Did no one see him doing the threes? Come on now. My man's opening up his game right now. I definitely think both of these two take a huge step forward. At least in my opinion. I don't know what Flannel or anyone else is thinking right now, but I at least got him taking a huge step forward. So give me Swish on this one. I can be hopeful, right?
You can be hopeful. What up, though, KG?
All right, so I think this is a slight brick because it's hard to say. No, only slightly though. But
hater.
hey, call me what you will. I've been called a lot of things, and I'm still here. So but I think slightly because it's hard to say that two players will take that step into stardom. I think that's just asking, just a bit much. If they both do, that's great. I would say just based on the nature of the position, I do agree with Willie B that Jalen Duren could be that next one that can elevate to that level because all he got to do is just keep being aggressive, keep attacking the rim, get as many rebounds as you can. You look up, he's 12 and 14 on the year. He can probably make an all-star reserve spot. I can see that. But with Sar Thompson, he's still kind of limited offensively. I would love for him to get a jump shot. It may take a little longer for him to develop a jump shot, and that's why I would say Duren more than Asar, but they definitely both have the potential to do so. It's just a lot to ask in one season.
Man, the chat lit up with this one. Denver Blair, Swish. I'm going to just read some of these swishes here. I see you in the chat, Dixie. I'm not going to say your last name on this one. Dixie put a swish.
Oh, I gotta look.
Yeah, I'm not reading that name. You almost got
Dixie
me.
who?
You almost got me. Denver Blair, swish. Dante151, all caps, major swish. J Hart, swish. But we got Charles McClain with the brick. And we got a couple people who don't quite see it. Charles McClain says, Asar, yes. Duren, no. And that seems to be when I see there being a no and then putting somebody, I see there being a lot more support for Asar than Duren if one of these players are going to step towards it. But Rod, the pair, are they stepping towards stardom, Swish or brick?
Not both. I think Asar is going to take some steps to get there. And I think Duren is right on the cusp of that. But it's going to be hard because there's going to be so much more space for Jaden Ivey to step into that role that it's going to be hard for two guys to do it in the same year, much less three along with Ivey.
Hold on. What? Rod agrees with me on Jalen Duren? What? Look at you. You've grown, man. You done went to Atlanta and grew up.
Shocking.
It's a blank post-it. I haven't had to do anything yet. So
Respect for Mr.
Duren he just stepped into the number 2 all of a sudden, huh?
Well, last year he was the number 2. Not this year, but last year he was the number 2 effectively.
Here's the question. Is it Jalen Howard or Dwight Duren?
All right, here we go, man. But the learning curve for him is only slight. Like, if he can develop a hook shot or some kind of, mid-range jumper, that would be great. But all he has to do is keep playing the way that he played last year.
Find a way to mentally turn this into reality. You are bigger than everybody else.
Own the paint. You bigger, you stronger. Yes.
It's his paint. And we see when he goes to those stretches where he's playing like that, that's when you saw him walking, strutting in. We can hear it. Oh, Jalen Duren's here. No, we hear him strutting down the hall. You don't got to tell us. We're getting ready. Put on our recorders for the press conference after the game, and he stepped up like, yo, yeah, man, this is how I'm going to be playing now, because earlier, I'll be free with y'all, I was on some soft stuff. And it was interesting to kind of hear that this was something that the team, from coaches to players, are effectively telling each other, hey, you're going to have to step up. This ain't good enough. And I absolutely love that about the fact that this team responded. What did we hear from other guys? What did we hear from the Cleveland Cavaliers? Oh, JB Bickerstaff he just killed our momentum. It just killed our morale, right? He's too hard of a coach, not a player's coach. I continue to tell people, when you looked at what's going on there behind the scenes, I think that those guys aren't necessarily put together the way to respond to a guy like JB Bickerstaff, who's going to hold you accountable, who's going to walk in and tell you, I don't care if you're this star or that star, what you have to do to be able to fit into his system. And that's what I want out of a coach, to be able to do that. And you know what these guys did? They stepped up. They performed. They got better. I absolutely love that about this team, because you know what, Rod? I feel like if a player like Ty Jerome was able to take that type of criticism rather than running his mouth about JB Bickerstaff, I feel like he would have been a Piston this offseason, bro. What did Ty Jerome do that didn't fit? I feel like he would, because remember the rumors came out early. I'm like, there's no way when rumors come out, it's an agent or somebody associated with the team. The team, why would JB Bickerstaff leak that? So it's just like, Ty, you played yourself, bro. You played yourself, man. But I love the fact that JB Bickerstaff has been able to go out there and from an aspect of development, be able to present responsibilities to these people and say, you got to take the next step. And these players are wanting to do that. I wanted to see intern Haley. Did you have any last words before I get last words from Rod Beard?
For Sar Thompson, the defense is there. He just needs to add a shot, and then he'll be pretty unstoppable. I love Jalen Durham. Like, I love watching him. He's great in the paint.
Yeah.
His dunks are insane, but I think I would favor Asar over Durham.
Ooh, okay. Got some more Asar love. It's going to be interesting to see how this thing plays out because Trajan is really believing in these young guys. But Rod Beard, your last words.
We're getting some static on Rod's, and so I don't know if we'll be able to hear him really. Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear him now.
Oh, yeah. Ah, man. Rod, we're going to wrap up now. It's a little static. We're going to wrapping up the show now, but thank you so much for your time every single week, man. It's been a crazy ride, man, for years now. Doing this Woodward Pistons podcast, and then we migrated it over here to Wake Up Woodward as well. But, Rod, thank you so much. Senior sports editor at the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Thank you so much for your time today, Rod.
Thank you, Rod.
Appreciate you, Rod.
Hey, chat family. You see that? He put the lights up, right? So go ahead and smash that like button.
Might as well.
I know we got to wrap up, and maybe we'll just do we got time to just satisfy the like button real quick?
Why not, man?
Let's just go
Why
ahead
not?
and do that.
JB back in the building. The Woo crew is whole again. Let's do it, man. Hey, we appreciate y'all joining us out there today on this fine episode of Wake Up Woodward. And just go ahead and hit that like button on the way out. You know, you got a long day. It's raining. You may be getting into some activities in the sheets, but just go ahead and hit that like button before you do that.
Get that like button.
We appreciate you.
Shout out to KG back in the building,
Original.
man.
It
And shout out
feels
to that
good,
dude,
dog.
Justin, too. You guys already know he's usually more into this commentary, but he's running around handling a lot right now and making sure that our interns are learning and that these are people that we believe are going to be part of this team for some time. So shout out to that dude, Justin. I just wanted to make sure as we're breaking down the show that we said what up, though, to you. Say what up, though, to the people, man.
What up, guys? It was a pleasure training Haley today, and I'm sorry I wasn't very participating in the show, but I love you guys, and make sure you check out Woodward Wings later this week. And let's go Chelsea. FIFA Club World Cup Finals. They are in, and they are going to win. So, fire up Chelsea.
Makes sense.
Chelsea.
Oh, man. Hey, and you know what? I see you, L. He says, good show, fellas. Thank you guys for all the support. I see you in the chat, Jay Hart. I'll be reaching out to you soon. I actually mentioned to Justin yesterday, I got a couple people that we're going to make sure we get into this intern program. So you were one of those people, Jay Hart. Thank you for supporting us for a long time. Being a regular both at Woodward Pistons, Detroit Kool-Aid, Woodward Sports. Can't wait to get you here with the team because these interns are some dogs. Shout out to my guy, intern Noah, too. But let's get this thing broken all the way down. I'm going to start over there in the TD. But get back over there, bro. You were training in there today. You're part of the show. Shout out to that, intern Ryan. And we got Woodward Sports MVP in the TD booth, JB Smooth.
Jay
What up,
Bizzle.
though?
Hey, we back. I'm back. Glad to be back. I mean, I've been staying tapped in as well, but it was an amazing show. Shout out to Rod once again. Shout out to everyone staying tapped in with us as well, too. We got a lot of good things going on, popping on. Obviously, KG's back, so myself and him, Woodward ringside, back at it once again.
Yes,
Shout out
sir.
to Ryan back here for taking over that second segment of TD, and hey, just stay tapped in with us.
That had fire, by the way.
Oh, appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Hey, shout out to Detroit's #1 draft pick.
Come on,
that
man.
is KG, a.k.a. Black Hollywood. What up, though, brother?
Hey, man, feels good to be back. Once again, thank y'all for all the love, man. I have seen it all. I'm sorry I can't name off everybody, but just appreciate the love and support. Absolutely. Shout out to the team. I love y'all, man. We got great interns here. Shout out to Haley. She's awesome. Shout out to Woodward Channing Tatum, a.k.a. Ryan. He's awesome as well. And, yeah, let's keep this shit rolling, man. Y'all know how I do.
Hey, what up, CT? Hey, Willie B in the building.
Hey, what's happening right here, man? I hope everything's smooth, and it's been a wonderful, interesting day. Another topic, another good discussion. Hey, man, a debate between Central Michigan, Western Michigan rivals with a lot of good shit talking. So, you know, life is good, man. But all the serious side is life is too short. Make the most of it. Enjoy what you have. Enjoy great company. And this is great company. Every time I step in, it's always great company with good people.
Always is. Shout out to Spin Dog who just stepped into the building. Let's get that test pass going as we talk about the vet of the squad, vet of the network. Shout out to Flannel Sam, all sports knower and lover, especially here in Detroit, right?
Hey, absolutely. But this is just a reminder for those of you who don't know. Even though Riley Green's been slumping lately, in the month of July, Ellie De La Cruz has an OPS of 472 and has 0 extra base hits.
Ellie catching a stray for no reason.
Oh, he's catching a stray. Because he's not as good as Riley Green. But this entire fan base has, Sessions over him. And you know what Sessions I'm talking about.
I love these random strays as we get into the show. I'm being picked up game.
But he's a 6'6" short.
Right.
But, and he's a damn good player, but he's a 6'6" shortstop. I hate this. He is Justin's generation's fever dream, is what Ellie De La Cruz is. Oh, yeah,
I see Justin over there smashing things on the board, man. Hey, look, it's your boy Brandon, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistol reporter, writer for the network. This has been a fun show, chat family. You guys were epic today. Thank you guys for tapping in with us and smashing that like button. Stay tapped in with the rest of Woodward Sports. Shout out to the legend Rod Beard again, man. You guys have a blessed day. It's been Wake Up Woodward. Thought that was it.